Good morning, indeed. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome in. The Rob Brown Radio program is right here and live on the Fan Upstate. How do you do? Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. What's up, world? Great to be with y'all one more time again here on a lovely Tuesday AM. Hope you had a tremendous start to your week. You did, unless you are a Lakers fan, or perhaps more painfully, a 76ers fan. My goodness gracious. Choked so bad they needed the Heimlich last night. We're going to be talking a lot of basketball on the radio show today because it was, I don't know, Lonzo, I don't want to say good last night, but certainly entertaining, even if for all the worst reasons.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but same results as the weekend, though.
Same results as the weekend.
Yep.
All the higher seeds got the dubs.
Just a little more exciting at the end.
Cleveland got the dub, Denver got the dub, and the Knickerbockers got the dub. All the higher seeds as we are chalking our way through. I will say this, because we're going to get into the results of all of us. LeBron James is a dude, great one. Like, he's just a dude. There was...
Well, you know, Rob, Michael Jordan would have won that game.
If he wouldn't have missed that three-pointer at the end of the game, Michael wouldn't have missed that three-pointer.
Michael would have hit it and shrugged. That's what he would have done.
I mean, maybe.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Basketball. What a game for the Nuggets, man. Jamal Murray, listen. Jamal Murray through the first three quarters was 3 of 16. Ended the game not much better than that, but knocked down the buzzer beater mid-range jumper to kill off the clock and get the dub for Denver last night. It was good, man. Also, how do you feel about the jerseys Denver wore last night? Did you see them? Have you seen them? The alternates with the 5280 across the bottom?
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's one of the like those are those jerseys that they're super dope if you're from Denver.
Do they stand out next to the Lakers uniform? No, they don't.
I mean, nothing does. They're bright ass yellow.
Well, that's true.
The
I mean, if you're gonna
out next to a Lakers uni is the sun.
If you're going to make a fashion statement next to the Lakers, it needs to be a little something flashy.
By the way, I know we're kind of talking about this. The highlights are on in the studio here. Your boy Austin Reeves got absolutely Jokic'd on that pick that caused the LeBron breakaway. I mean, it's a sacrifice I'm sure he was willing to make. But A. Reeves tried to run through the chest of Nikola Jokic, and it did not work. Not even a little. Denver with a win last night. The 76ers had a 5-point lead with 45 seconds left to play and the ball. And instead of putting the thing away, they watched Jalen Brunson hit a three. Tyrese Maxey turn over the inbound pass. Dante DiVincenzo miss a three. But then the rebound gets collected by the Knicks, kicked back out to Dante DiVincenzo, who then drills the go-ahead three, and 14 seconds later, the team that was so dead they had dirt on top of them comes back and wins that game. Here's the interesting part, and I'm quite excited about seeing how this plays out. The 76ers, including Joel Embiid, who in his post-game presser said it was unacceptable. The 76ers are sending a full write-up and report to the NBA because they are swearing that after the Jalen Brunson tray, that everybody on the floor was trying to call the timeout. Remember, the NBA, you call the timeout, the ball advances up to half court. Instead, they did not get the timeout. Maxey inbounds under the basket. It gets turned over. DiVincenzo gets not one but two looks at the basket, drills the second three. The Knicks take the lead, and they don't give it back.
And then the NBA sends a letter going, our bad. They're not going to change anything. So,
Probably.
I mean, what does it do?
I
Are they
think
going to change the score of the game? They're not.
when I was a youth, I've told you guys in the past, Rob Brown was very close to becoming a high school teacher / coach many moons ago.
When did LeBron join the Coast Guard?
I kind of don't hate the jacket.
He looks like he's going whaling or something. I mean,
Whaling.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What do you do with a missed three-pointer? What do you do with a missed three-pointer?
I get that.
Why did I do that?
I don't know.
Why is that a thing I decided to do publicly?
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, man.
I get that he's balding, but the Nick Cap, you're in LA, right?
What do you do with a missed three-pointer? Lose the bleeping game. I'm so sorry to all of you that I did that. That was bad.
It's 6:06, all three of you.
It is very early. So what was I about to say? I was about to be very poignant and
I interrupted with the
it was
with
worth
the
it.
LeBron
It was worth
thing,
it. LeBron absolutely looks like he stands on the edge of a dock and yells at fish.
Yeah, I mean, what? Oh, okay.
The white whale is beating Denver. Oh, this is good. I like this. We're on to something here. Denver is LeBron's white whale. That is 10 consecutive L's to Nikola Jokic for Braun in the Lake Show. 10. Double digits. 10 games. That's why LeBron was dressed like that last night.
It makes sense. It really does.
LeBron came out dressed like NBA Captain Ahab to scream at the white whale that is Nikola Jokic. Holy crap, the white whale is a great nickname for Nikola Jokic now. That's it.
It'd be better if he wasn't so svelte. But yeah.
Svelte.
Yeah, Jokic.
Svelte.
Yeah, he is.
My dude is built like he just got done playing pickup at the Y.
That's what I mean. He's not fat. When you say white whale, I think it's going to be.
He ain't fat, but he ain't built. Nikola Jokic looks like if you went down to the gym and Nikola Jokic was in there, you'd be like, that guy's tall, but like checks out that he's here.
He could outlift you probably.
I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm saying he does not look like it. There ain't a physique on Nick. There's not. And I love him for it, by the way.
You know what he should look like? If you're going to nickname him the White Whale, he should look like what Gunther used to look like.
He kind of does look like what Gunther used to look like.
No, he doesn't. He looks like what he looks like now.
No, you're thinking of Walter, that other guy.
Yeah, okay.
You're thinking
all
of
right.
Walter.
I should have.
Walter was a bigger guy.
I should have said Walter, though.
Yeah.
My bad.
Gunther, friend of the show, Gunther. And they actually shockingly do look a little bit alike, if we're being honest. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
In your mind's eye, yes.
That's all that matters to me.
Except for one of them has more of a killer mentality.
What do you do with a missed three-pointer? Lose the bleeping game. Sea shanties, everybody. That's what we've devolved to here on the show. So the 76ers, that's what it was. Back to it. The 76ers swore up and down that they called a timeout. When I was many moons ago en route to becoming a high school teacher and high school basketball coach, because that's, for whatever reason, what I decided I was going to do. I was at a game. My old head coach, Mark Tiza, was the guy that I did my practicum, which is where they send you to a school and let all the teachers that work there try to talk you out of becoming a teacher. And so while I was doing that, Mark Tiza, my old basketball coach, was like, hey man, like, why don't you come sit on the bench for a game, right? Like come watch what it looks like. I had played basketball. I had coached little league, like youth ball, but he's like, why don't you come sit on the bench for a game, kind of see how it works from our perspective during a game? I'm like, great. So I sat for 3 or 4 games. Last game, he let me coach a little bit. It was kind of great. And in like the second or third game, there was a very clear missed foul on one of Tease's players. And, it's high school ball. Turns out instant replay not available at the Florida High School Athletic Association Class 5A level.
I was going to say, I don't know about now, though. I mean, you never know now.
I'd be good with it. So high school.
You've seen the rig that Burns has on the sideline for their stuff.
Yeah, they got some good stuff.
Yeah, so
they got like the video cameras that are up in the press box now are connected to a dish that beams them down, and they have like high screen TVs on the sideline. Our coach had a whiteboard where he's like, all right, and we're gonna run that route and then back. And you're like, what is that? Are you drunk right now, coach? These guys have high speed telestrators on the sideline. It's unbelievable.
These kids today, they couldn't have survived 20 years ago.
Got it. I bet you don't even know what two-a-days are, you little scrubs. All right, anyway. Missed call, no replay. Tisa went out there. No, and they're obviously not going to turn the call over. But Tisa went out there, and he got a tee, and he got the boot from the game. And so after the game's over, he dresses down the team. Everybody leaves. I'm hanging out. I'm like, Coach, why would you do that in a close game? Why would you get yourself tossed in that spot? Like, they're not going to change the call. And he goes, there are two reasons you do that. Number one is to give your team something to latch onto, right? Like, coach is out there fighting for us. We got to fight for him. He goes, sometimes it works, sometimes he doesn't. The more important thing is it's the easiest way to draw attention to that officiating crew. He goes, anytime a coach gets bumped like that, they have to do a write-up to the FHSAA, which puts their performance, because the FHSAA will go back and they'll watch the tape of that game. We will send them a tape and they will go back and watch the tape of that game. And so now I know that the folks who run the FHSAA's officiating department have eyeballs on this terrible performance, and it was because I got bounced. Otherwise, they'd never see it. I kind of feel like this is the NBA version of that. They're not overturning it in real time. They're not overturning it in that game. There's nothing that can be done that night, but much like Tony Brothers had to make the Pelicans Thunder game one all about himself, you have now put what happened on the forefront. It is now the moment of attention. When you got Nick Nurse and Joel Embiid and all these guys that are out there going, bro, we were trying to call a timeout that we very much had, and we got ignored. Nick Nurse said he made eye contact with an official while putting the tee up, and he got flat out ignored. That's a pretty direct claim.
I'm not looking at you, and I still saw you do the timeout thing.
Yeah.
So you got to really try to not see it. And I realize there's a bunch of things going on, but part of their job is to look to the sidelines, especially in situations like this where a timeout's probably going to be called, and recognize that they're calling one. I mean, but in the end, all they're going to get is a sorry.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Again, they're not going to change the outcome of the game. They're not going to do anything. In fact, there you go. There's Nick Nurse on the sideline calling for the TO right there. I mean, it's on tape. Like, he
and
definitely
if you look,
was.
there's a ref showing the player too.
Yeah,
doing it. Yeah,
Nick Nurse was calling for a timeout. Joel Embiid was calling for a timeout. Pretty much everybody except Tyrese Maxey was calling for a TO. They didn't get it. And then Dante DiVincenzo steps up and hits the absolute dagger. Nurse got after the refs afterwards. It doesn't matter, but I think what you're doing here, if you're Nick Nurse, since you can't wake up, grab the mic, and go, hey, yo, them refs, this is the best. Like, this is the best you can do. You can eat, $75,000 fine or whatever it is, or you can go, yo, I was calling for it. Joel was calling for it. Everybody except, and by the way, it's not on Tyrese Maxey to call that timeout, because here's the thing. Maxey on the inbound has 5 seconds to get the ball in play. He's got to get the ball in play. So if he's the one with the ball on the sideline, he has got to be treating the ball as if there's not a timeout coming. Because if for whatever reason, and again, this comes back to communication on the floor, if that is a spot where Nick Nurse saw something, right? He sees that over the course of the game, the Knicks are falling off during post-basket inbounds, and he decides, you know what, our best chance actually is to get the ball in quick and let them foul us or whatever the case might be. He's got to treat that as if it's a live ball in case Nick Nurse has decided not to call the timeout, because the last thing you want is for him to be standing on the sideline waiting for a timeout that's not coming, and you end up with a 5-second inbounds violation. And that's it. So I don't think this is about getting the result of the game overturned. I think this was more about putting that on the radar of the NBA about this crew, because there's a good chance you're drawing this crew again at some point in the playoffs.
See, that's what I was going to ask, because I couldn't remember if a crew draws for an entire series. I'm guessing they do, right?
That's a great question. I actually do not know the answer to that. Great one.
Because if they don't, well, then hopefully what the NBA will do is not assign that crew again. And I don't think a crew has ever been suspended in the middle of a series if, in fact, they have to, if they're for a series at a time.
That's a great question. I'm going to see if we can do the research to find out. I don't think that is the case. I don't know. I don't think, but I don't know. I believe it is treated the same way as regular season games. They're rotating crews, multiple crews that rotate around. I'll let you know, because if tonight, when the Pellies and the Thunder go game 2 in OKC, if I see Tony Brothers step out on the court again, you'll know, because you'll hear my head exploding from your house. Anyway, we'll talk more NBA as the show progresses. We also got to talk Atlanta Bravos, because last night the Braves hosted the Marlins. It was one of those games where if you want to convince everybody that you are indeed the favorites out of the National League, even without Spence Strider, you got to win games like last night. And I don't know if you know
did
this.
You know that there's an NBAofficial.com where you can find out referee assignments?
Bet the under on every Tony Brothers game, because he makes it all about Tony Brothers. It aggravates the hell out of me.
Referee assignments are posted approximately 9 a.m. each game day.
Okay.
So you will know today at 9.
We will know in the final hour of this show whether I am going to be having elevated blood pressure this evening or not. The answer is already yes, but just how elevated. Travis Darno is very good at baseball. We're going to talk about that. We got to get to some college football, college basketball, and, of course, a ton of NFL draft talk, as we are just a couple of days away. The Rob Brown Show continues right here on the Fan Upstate. We don't need to change that, right? I don't think we do.
I don't know. Here's what we're going to do. And I know we're on the stream, so the stream can hear it. We're going to let it go till
we get told not to.
Till someone tells me to take it down. I will get in trouble for not thinking of it, but that's fine. I'm willing to.
I should have had him record too. That's what I'm going to do from this point forward. Whenever we have a champion, is I'm going to have them record two. One where they are, and one where they just say it is so and so. That being said,
I might be able to edit that.
I don't think he can, because he says this is WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther. Like, he doesn't say.
Well, what I need to find is see if I can find the original where it was sent to me, because if I recall, there were pauses that I took out.
Yeah.
And, I can use those to piece it together, maybe. I don't know.
That's why Alonzo's in charge and I'm not. Keegan, why are you awake? What are you doing? I know you were up late because you were texting me.
Maybe you thought you needed support this morning. I would say, Keegan, all tantrums are dumb, but, out to eat yesterday, and the 5-year-old granddaughter just started throwing a tantrum for no reason. because she thought she heard something she didn't hear. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she just looked at me. I'm like, what are you doing? And it's like, why are you starting to cry? Because this is like, did you not listen? No. She just did exactly what you wanted her to do, but you're crying because you want to cry.
I missed first half of the story.
No, I'm talking about how no tantrums make sense.
Mm.
Because he's talking about LeBron's tantrums. No tantrums ever make sense.
Yes, that is the truest true that's ever trued, Keegan.
Unless you want the world to die off when you're done. I mean, that's
I
fine.
promise you, me recreating is not going to doom planet Earth. The population is too big.
Okay. Well, anyway, but if
Too many people.
if more people have that mentality, and there's a reason why the birth rate is down in the United
Mhm.
States because of that mentality, and then the rest of the world takes over. And I believe in America, and you guys need to get out there and make some babies. That's
No,
all
you
I'm
don't.
saying.
Let's be real. There's a lot of y'all that do not need to be making babies. A lot of people making babies. that
I've
don't need to
already
be
done
making
my
babies.
part. I'm just saying, you guys, you know who you are. You need to get out there and make some babies.
The problem isn't that you guys who know they should be. The problem is the people who don't know that they shouldn't be.
Selfish. Selfish. Y'all selfish.
To who?
You know, to the world, especially America.
I love single moms personally. Oh, the Facebook stream is up, and if you want to know why you should join, the last comment that got made by our guy Nolan was, and I quote, "I love single moms personally."
America.
Yep. We are having a day today, ladies and gentlemen. Join us, won't you?
You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks.
What a day. Live streams up, facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, The Fan Upstate, or The Rob Brown Show on YouTube, and The Rob Brown Show on Twitch, if you prefer that delivery system of choice. I did not last night stay up all the way until the end of the Lakers game because it was very, very late, and I was very, very tired.
It's not easy being you. It's exhausting. Sometimes you just need some rest, Rob.
It's true. It's damn true. That is in large part because I was at the well. Greenville Swamp Rabbits get a dub last night, 4-2 in a second playoff game that was heart rate increasingly close.
See, that's the thing. Your adrenaline was at a high level. Then once it dropped
4
out,
hours.
and once it dropped out, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, listen, I walked into that building with the heart rate elevated because it's the playoffs. Let's be real. Coming back down 2-0 in the playoffs, especially in a 2-3-2 format, it's incredibly difficult. That's why I hate a 2-3-2 format. I actually think it is better for the road team, even though a game 6 and 7 would be at the house. If you steal one of the first two, you got a chance to put that thing away at home. You just got to steal one, and you got a chance to put that thing away at home early. I'm not a huge fan of it. But with that being said, it was a very, let's call it, tense night in the well last night. As one employee of the team told me, I could make a diamond right now, if you understand that expression.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was tense up in the well.
I don't know. That might make me feel uncomfortable with someone just. I'm glad you guys are.
So you know what that phrase
You guys are
means.
tight like that.
It was intense in the well, got to the house, and I want you to know, I got home, I changed into the pajama pants. All right. I sat down in the bro cave. I flipped on the television because I was going to watch the end of the Canes Islanders game, which, by the freaking way, what a stressor that one was.
I can't say how much I I
Hate that clip?
Yeah.
Would you say it's as much as I hate good morning?
No, it's because it's such a tease. You're blowing in everyone's ear, but you don't feel it.
And now you all know what turns Lonzo on. So I don't think that's a sentence I ever thought I'd say. I'm mildly uncomfortable. So I went home last
He's
night.
not. He's not at all.
I went home last night with every intention of I was going to do it. I was going to stay up late. I figured that game was going to end around 12:15. I'm like, screw it. Why not? I'm already pumped. I'm already jacked up. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The tension in the well was up for like 4 hours last night, and I fell asleep. And when you know it, I fell asleep during the second best game of the playoffs so far. The best game of the playoffs so far. Lakers Nuggets last night. It's either Lakers Nuggets or Pelicans Thunder are the top two games in the playoffs so far.
Here's the thing. Again, like what we said last time, 10 years ago, Lakers put that thing away. Up by 20, let them come back. If I'm the rest of the NBA, I'm looking at that going, okay, Denver is beatable. If you know how to finish.
Kind of agree. Like, obviously, they're not the Lakers of hell, even the 2020 COVID season that won the bubble championship. It's not that team. But they're still good. D'Angelo Russell's a dude. Austin Reeves a dude. LeBron's still LeBron, and he showed everybody up in that B that he's still LeBron.
Last I checked, the Lakers had to win a play-in to get in to the thing. I'm just saying it's a 1 seed versus an 8 seed, right?
Yeah, but don't you put a little? No, it's 2-7. But
is it 2-7? My
enough.
bad. It's
the thought for me is, though, and we talked about this last week. The parity in the NBA is as good as it's ever been, or at least good as it's been in the modern era. The parity is that good. And I'm looking at this going, there's a lot of years where this Lakers team's a 6 seed or a 5 seed. They're not fighting in as a play-in team. I look at New Orleans as the 8 seed. I look at Phoenix as the 6 seed. Dallas is the 5. Clippers is the 4. Okay, let's draw this back up. You are 100% correct. Great one. This Nuggets team right now does not appear to have the same intensity level and the same whatever it was that they had last year that drove them to a title. They are still very, very good. And most importantly, and I think what won them a title last year, and if they repeat, what will win them the title this year, they ain't worried about pressure. They handle pressure. Last night, 85% of NBA teams lose to the Lakers last night. Like 26 teams, 25 other teams lose to the Lakers last night. And on top of that, if LeBron hits that 3, the Nuggets lose to the Lakers last night. He had a wide open look at it. Wide open look.
Not known as, the 3-point guy. He will hit them, but
not his I mean
it's not.
It's not his shot, but it not is his shot either. Right? It's just like it's in the repertoire, but it's not his go-to.
You see him in that position.
That should have been D'Angelo. That should have been D.
You see him in that position, or you see Steph Curry in that position.
Yep.
Your confidence level is totally different.
Correct. I agree entirely. Had to have it. LeBron stepped up. There now, in fairness, not a lot of guys whose hands I want the ball in a 1 shot to make and 10 shots to make it to win against the reigning, defending, undisputed NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Not many guys I want the ball in their hands more than LeBron James, even at 39 years of age. You are correct. They are not the same team. You are correct. They don't have the same thing, whatever that thing is, that grit that they had last year. They are still very, very good, A, and B, I absolutely do think that the parity from really 1 to 8, because, and I would even say 1 to 10, because I would make the argument that Sacramento and who's the other team that got bounced? Golden State. I would say 1 through 10. I might exempt Golden State from this list because I do think the dynasty died the night the Lakers bounced them. Not the Lakers. Sacramento bounced them. I think that dynasty ate it. I think from OKC and Denver 1-2 all the way down to LAL and NOLA at 7-8. Lonzo, I think anybody can beat anybody. I think the cream will rise to the top here overall. But I think 1 to 8, any given night, anybody can beat anybody. And that's why I said with a healthy Zion, I think the 8 seed Pelicans are honestly my favorites in that series. At least they could win the game. I think if I lined up Denver and Los Angeles, I think at the most Denver's won in 7 games. That's why I've said like LA to win 1 game was a very comfortable bet for me. I probably could have been talked into LA to win 2. I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked if the Lakers win both games at home?
No, because they've had the lead and they know they can beat this team if they can somehow find some youth or some other guys can step up at the end of the game.
Yep. I would not be shocked if this series is tied at 2 apiece after the 2 games at cryptbro.com arena. Because it showed it last night. I don't know what to tell you. He's still LeBron. He's 39. He's a little aged, but he's still LeBron.
That really bothers some people.
I don't know why.
I mean, he's okay.
For the record, he's LeBron is not the same as he's better than Mike. It's just he's LeBron. He is one of the 3 best of all time. And you don't have to like his tantrums, Keegan. You don't have to like his attitude or his politics or whatever. He is one of the best 3 basketball players of all time. And as a texter said early in the week, as long as you got 80 and you got LeBron, you got a shot. Don't be shocked if the Lakers end up bringing this thing back to 2-0. We'll talk more NBA playoffs later in the show. We got to talk draft coming up on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Deadpool trailer is awesome, and I am also so ready for this movie. Give me 10 seconds. I got to change one thing, and then I'll be right back. Shouldn't take but a minute. All right, that was easy. This is an LA Kings polo. The Kings are I guess I should say the Swamp Rabbits are an affiliate of the LA Kings. It goes GVL up to Ontario, up to the LA Lakers. And they announced a couple of days ago that the Swamp Rabbits had signed a contract with the Kings to be their affiliate for 2 more seasons. And yesterday, in fact, we're going to talk about this coming up well, probably later in the show. Yesterday, it was announced that the Rabbits and the Bon Secours Wellness Arena signed a contract for 5 more years of hockey in the upstate. So the Bits ain't going nowhere for another half a decade.
That's cool. Andy Reid also signed an extension yesterday. And so did Brett Veach, and so did Donovan for the Chiefs, who are also not going anywhere. Just wanted to make sure I pointed that out.
I don't know. They didn't get their tax money. They said they might. Are you saying they lied?
All right, the people running the thing will still be around somewhere. I don't know. One thing I'm worried about Deadpool is too many cameos. I think too many cameos and then it loses something. Is the giant Ant-Man actually the giant Ant-Man dead in the ground, or is
Well,
it,
I went back and I watched that trailer
does it look
roughly
like-
9 more times yesterday. And there is a very quick clip of them jumping into a Doctor Strange portal.
Yeah, I did see them
Yeah.
jumping into a portal. I
So
didn't
I'm
know if it
assuming
was,
this is going to be a world hopping adventure.
but I don't think it's a Doctor Strange portal. It's a portal from the time variant authority.
Because
This TVA. If you
they
watch,
don't use the.
yeah, but it wasn't the same
Yeah.
color as that.
Yes, it was.
I don't think it was. Okay, well,
I gotta go pull the still. Somebody put a still up yesterday. That's why I went back and watched it 9 more times. The Rob Brown Show continues. It's the Fan Upstate. Robin Lonzo on a Tuesday AM. We'll be talking a lot of draft, but moves away from the draft beginning. Zach Wilson sent from the New York Football Jets out to Denver, Colorado yesterday.
wait, what?
I know. What a move. What a move for Sean and the gang. There's your answer, guys. Denver's going to be, I don't know, Lonzo, pick an adjective. What's the Denver Broncos going to be next year?
You have that suck?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cut ready.
Hey, here it is.
No, I thought it generally sucked. I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck.
Direct quote from Sean Payton at the end of next season.
Although in this case it is a specific suck, but that's fine. Also, what does that say to the guy who just went to Pittsburgh? We think Zach Wilson is better than you. Take that, Russ.
By the way, if you are keeping track in the Rob Brown Show Home Edition, if you want to go all the way back to 2021, there were 5 quarterbacks selected in the first round of the 2021 National Football League draft. 5 quarterbacks were selected in the first round. One of them is still on the team that drafted them. Zach Wilson, drafted by the Jets. He is not there anymore. Trey Lance, drafted by the 49ers. He is not there anymore. Justin Fields, drafted by the Bears. He is not there anymore. Mac Jones, drafted by the Patriots. He is not there anymore. The only guy still with the team that drafted them from the 2021 draft, y'all, that is 3 years ago. We're not talking about a decade down the road. We are talking about 3 years ago. The only guy still on the team that drafted them, Lonzo, is...
That would be Trevor Lawrence. And you know what? We're coming up on the draft this Thursday, and you're going to see a quarterback class worse than this one.
Oh, no.
Yes, worse than this one.
No,
Yes.
No.
All either traded or no longer in football. Because
No.
this draft class of quarterbacks are not impressive at all.
I fully accept. I don't endorse. I fully accept your belief that this quarterback class is being too highly touted. I fully accept that in your belief that this team is, or that this draft class of quarterbacks is not filled with a generational talent.
By the way,
that's being talked about.
it has to be touted because they want people to watch. I mean, for sure. And for some reason, this great receiver is not going to push people to watch the draft. because everything's so quarterback centric. You've got that, but still, there's not that one player except for, in my opinion, Marvin Harrison Jr. that stands out in this draft. I mean, it's a good draft for certain player groups, but it's not for quarterbacks.
I think there are multiple exceptional wide receivers in this draft. Multiple exceptional wide receivers. I think, and this is not sexy, I don't disagree. It's not like somebody blowing in your ear as a tease. Okay? But the offensive line class is very sexy this year if you're a guy who, gets turned on by offensive linemen.
Hey, Jason Kelce was up for, sexiest man alive. So that don't even work anymore.
For the record, fat bearded guys.
Yes, there you go.
We are sexy.
It's what's in right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Says all the fat bearded guys across the world.
Ladies, why was fat bearded guys not the accepted body type in like 2024 when I was at my peak? What happened? Why did it take y'all so long to come around that fat bearded homebodies are the way to go? Anyway, I will accept that the quarterback class is too highly touted. I don't accept that it's bad. There's not much about Caleb Williams' game that I don't think is good. Maybe not great. Maybe not outstanding. In fact, yesterday, I got the invite. Joey B said, we're built for comfort, not speed.
Very, very pillow-like. Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say that might be the official slogan of the Rob Brown Show moving forward. It's good. I think that I was on yesterday a Odyssey podcast in Chicago. One of the guys up at 670 The Score asked me to come on their pod and talk draft. And so I did. And the Chicago people are all convinced Caleb Williams is, the second coming. This guy is he's just going to be untouchable.
Weren't they convinced Justin Fields was that? And probably whoever the quarterback was before that? And whoever.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah,
it was Jay Cutler.
I was working my way back to Jay Cutler.
Smoking Jay Cutler. So they're just convinced that Caleb Williams is inarguably the second coming and is going to change everything about Chicago football. And I will say, I said this to the great one last week. It caused one of the 7 fights that we had last week. If you ask me right now to pick one to run my football program for the next X years, Caleb Williams or Justin Fields, I'm going to go Caleb Williams because I think we know. Scratch that. I don't know that we know what the ceiling is for Justin Fields, but I do think we know that the guy's had a couple of years to shine now, and a great quarterback is going to shine even if the team's bad. And there were very few moments where that happened. Caleb Williams is an unknown variable.
Well, Chicago is the problem, I think.
I agree with that
because
entirely.
Justin Fields has gone to a team, and when he eventually takes over the starting position, it's a team built the way he likes to play.
I do not disagree that Chicago is the problem. What I am going to say, great one, is even on a bad team, great quarterbacks shine. Even if the team sucks,
somewhere shine. Mario flipped his hair. It was like, what?
Oh, hating ass Mario. Even on a great team or even on a crap team, a great quarterback shines. And to me, Justin Fields never hit those marks where you could look and go, that's a great quarterback stuck on a crap team.
You don't have to be a great quarterback to win in the league. I mean, you don't. And I think he's at least a good quarterback.
I agree.
Yeah. There's only a handful of great quarterbacks in the NFL.
I agree with that too. But what I'm saying is, if you're asking me, do I want a good quarterback whose ceiling we don't know but has yet to show flashes of great? Or do I want a quarterback who is, let's say, real good in college? I won't say great. Let's say real good in college, who is built the way you want a quarterback to be built, who is an unknown variable, I will roll the dice. This is a gamble for me. I said this on the pod yesterday. For me, you are taking a gamble. Whose ceiling do you believe is higher? And the difference between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, aside from size, the difference is Justin Fields has been in the league 3 years, and the number of games where he has truly shined is countable on 2 hands over 3 years, maybe 1 hand over 3 years. You're rolling the dice. That's not, I am not down with the draft experts whose pants get tighter when they talk about Caleb Williams. I'm not there yet. I'm not at that spot. I think he's good. I think he's got phenomenal improvisational talent. I did yesterday, Zoe, so that you know.
You missed another opportunity, man, because that cut would have worked perfect.
My loins have
Yeah, I
been
mean,
tingling.
you know.
That is a live quote from Mel Kiper Jr.
My loins have been tingling.
about Caleb Williams. I want you to know, Zoe, because I just in case, like, we're having a good morning, but I know we've had some strife. I know we've had some headbutting lately. So I want to, yesterday, a guy in Chicago on purpose and intentionally said that Caleb Williams has the improvisational talent of Patrick Mahomes. And I want you to know that I shut that down in real time. In real time. Because I ain't there yet. That's not to say he can't. It's not to say he won't. There's not to say there'll never be a time that he won't. But he ain't there yet, dog. He ain't there yet. So, I accept that this QB class is too hyped because I certainly don't yet see Drake May as the generational QB. I think Lonzo and I have both made it very clear how we feel about J.J. McCarthy. That's a joke to me. I said it yesterday, again, on the air in Chicago. I was like, look, you know what I think this J.J. McCarthy stuff is? Did you notice, Zoe, that he was hanging around pick 16, 17, and then all of a sudden, pick 4. Pick 4. He could be pick 4. You know what that is to me? That is a league-wide smokescreen. That is everybody recognizing we can pretend like we would draft J.J. McCarthy, and because everybody else is doing it, it's a free hide our actual intentions ability. My guy is gonna get the Brady Quinn treatment on draft night if he goes.
I hope not. I mean, I don't want to see that. Well, okay, I kind of hope so. But I'm surprised our Michigan texter hasn't jumped in there yet, or Michigan texters, because there are several around here going, yeah, but Tom Brady had the same kind of thing, and he got drafted in the later round, and look what happened for him.
Let's be straight up. It's the NFL draft.
Also, defend your school, defend your guy. That's fine, but I do believe what you said. It's a smokescreen. No way, no. I mean, if you take a chance on that guy, it seems like much desperation.
Let's make sure that we all have the right mentality about this. It is a crapshoot. Okay? There are going to be guys that get drafted in the 6th and 7th round who are going to go on to be Hall of Famers. And there are going to be guys who get drafted in the 1st round who are going to be out of the league in 3 years. That's how it works. You do everything that you can to get your grades, to get your evaluations, to line up your board, to make sure your war room is all on the same page. You do everything that you can do to give yourself the best chance to find the HOFer and not find the 3 years and done guy. But at the end of the day, it is a crapshoot. You do not know who you're going to end up with, no matter how much research you do. And there is a chance. I think it is an outside chance. I think it is a desperation heave. But there's a chance that J.J. McCarthy ends up being the best quarterback in this draft. There's also a chance that Sydney Sweeney calls me tomorrow and asks me on a date. And they're about equal.
Wow, you've decided to go younger.
She's a pretty girl.
She is.
She's a pretty girl.
So she has replaced someone else for you. That's kind of that kind of stood out there.
I don't know. Megan Fox showed up on my screen again the other day.
Yeah, she's trending quite a bit because she's changed her look and now she's single again, apparently.
Well, I mean, she had her bad boy phase with what's his name?
Machine Gun Kelly,
Yeah.
I believe. Drinking
Eminem,
blood and stuff.
And then Eminem destroyed him as a person, and he lost Megan Fox because of it. Attaboy, Kelly.
You think that's the reason? Okay.
That's what I'm trying to
Come on now. People are not that superficial. You'll hurt your head turning it that quick.
So I am going to go with, I accept, Great One, your take that the draft class is overhyped. I do not accept your take that there's not a great quarterback in this class. I think I've made it clear.
And we'll see. I mean, there's we could know right away, but chances are we're not going to know for a couple years.
This is how I feel about it. It's again, it's like, it's playing the lottery, man. Like, there are people who play the lottery every day and they believe their number's coming up. And then there are people who go, why are you wasting money on the lottery? You can't win. The odds are so astronomical, you can't win. And yet, once a week, somebody's on TV claiming $100 million prize. It happens all the time. That's kind of where I'm at with honestly, JJ McCarthy. That's kind of where I'm at with all these guys. Here's the one guy that I will say I don't think is going to be able to get it. Zach Wilson. Where we started this whole conversation. Zach Wilson goes to Denver. He's going to link up with Sean Payton. If there is a guy that can get him to develop to the next level, it is Sean Payton. But I have made my feelings on Sean Payton quite clear. Thanks for the Lombardi. Drew Brees won that for you. You didn't win it. Sean Payton's offense has never been as innovative as everybody's made out it to be. He had Drew Brees.
Have you always been anti-management?
If Andy Reid had Drew Brees would have 5 Lombardis.
Probably. But
I believe that.
Have you always been anti-management? Because I think there's some underneath thing that you really hate management.
I don't hate management.
It's always the player did it, never the coach. Because it's the same argument with the Patriots.
I think Andy Reid has 50% responsibility for your Super Bowls. I'd say it's as much Andy Reid as it is Patrick Mahomes. But yes, when it comes to those guys, Brady and Brees won Super Bowls for Hoodie and Sean Payton. Ask me how I know. Brady leaves Belichick, he's fired. Brees leaves Sean Payton, he leaves. He saw it.
Yeah, the Belichick thing, though, how many years did it take before he was let go? I mean, it's not like he was instantly gone.
Correct. What did they do in those years before he got let go, though? How many more anythings did they win?
About the same as what they did with Brady there.
What?
How many years was Brady there?
6 Super Bowls.
Yeah. And
Tom Brady.
When was the last one? And how many years did he play with the Patriots after and not win one?
Dude.
And not even
6 Super Bowls.
All right. So you're gonna.
I don't care if that takes you 50 years.
You're gonna avoid the question.
The Falcons have won none. He won 6.
Well, you got that dig in for sure.
Yeah, that felt good. All right, we got to run to a break. Lonzo is about to do the verbal version of that, like, breathe in your ear thing that he likes so much.
Don't play that thing again. Do not do that.
Sexy sports flash time.
No, I'm uncomfortable. The Philadelphia 76ers had one of the worst collapses in recent playoff history, losing 104-101 in a game where they held a 5-point lead with less than 46 seconds to play over a 14-second span. Jalen Brunson hit a 3. Tyrese Maxey turned over the inbounds, and Dante DiVincenzo, man, I said it really good earlier, got off a second 3. Both Maxey and Joel Embiid missed game winners. 76ers coach Nick Nurse said he tried to call a timeout, but it was missed by officials. Philly trails the Knicks 2-0. Back and forth affair that saw multiple clutch buckets from both teams ended with a 101-99 win for Denver over the Lakers last night. Nikola Jokic had 27. Join Wire to Wire this Thursday as Cole Bryson and Diesel broadcast live from Dave & Buster's in Greenville. Come out and hang with the guys as they get you ready for the first round of the NFL playoffs, 3 to 7 this Thursday. Dave & Buster's. Let's check out the Jam Cam.
Zach Wilson also likes single moms. Loves him a cougar.
Come on, it's just that one time. You know, I'm sure it never happened again, especially after it got out.
Zach's mom's friends have got it going on. You wanted him so much from New York, he's gone.
And the Cougars in Denver might be imbibing and a little more acceptable. Oh.
South Carolina contractors and excavators. This message is for you. Before you break ground on any project, protect your crew by contacting SC 811. Reach out to 811 at least 3 business days ahead of excavation to ensure underground utility lines on site are marked. Eliminate the risk. Remember, smart digging means contacting 811 without exception. Contact 811 before you dig or visit sc811.com for more on safe excavation. Sponsored by South Carolina 811 in cooperation with South Carolina Broadcasters Association and the station.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of
The chat's being weird today. Mom, the chat's being weird.
You
again.
continue being you, chat. Don't you listen to him.
Unique and unlike any other sports talk show, it's BetMGM tonight, Monday through Friday from 7 to 11, only on the Fan. BetMGM tonight is the red zone for casual and hardcore sports fans.
You know, I've noticed not only, you know, while watching sports, but when I picked up my granddaughter yesterday from school, big hair is back.
Big hair is back.
Big hair is everywhere. It's just a, you know, just stay the course and eventually you'll fit in again. That's just how it works. Prize Picks, first break.
10-4. Jumping into our number 2 of the Rob Brown radio program right here on the Fan of State. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you. Happy Tuesday to all of you. Lonzo, we have talked about this week the fact that both of us plan on retiring at some point, maybe in the sci-fi distant future.
Yeah, we were saying at some point. Yeah,
At some point,
That's what,
not like
that's what we were
anytime soon.
doing. Yeah, like not tomorrow or anything.
John Sterling was, for like almost 60 years, the play-by-play voice of the New York Yankees. You know, the most prestigious ball club in America.
You mean the Yankees win?
That's the guy.
That guy.
That's the guy.
Okay.
So after like a very long time, John Sterling, and what I do not for a second believe was any sort of coinky-dink, John Sterling stepped away from the New York Yankees organization, decided to call it a career. Decided to call it a career. Well, John Sterling, this past weekend, they did a little retirement ceremony for him, which is nice. You know, it's nice of them. I'm sure it's appreciated. Well,
That gold watch from the Yankees probably really expensive.
oh, you'd think that's the direction that they go. The Yankees had a retirement ceremony for John Sterling. And in this retirement ceremony, they brought John Sterling out onto the field. Again, this guy was a dude who was the play-by-play voice for this team for all the years. They brought him out on the field. They did their big thank you. The Yankees would go on to lose 1 or 2-0 in the 10th inning. But when they brought John Sterling, again, 50 plus years out onto the field, they said,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former voice of the New York Yankees, John Sterling. And now, as a token of appreciation to John Sterling's years of service for the New York Yankees, we present to him
a TV. It's a big TV. It's an 83-inch TV.
83?
But a TV.
And
A TV.
yeah, but 83, dude.
A TV.
Obviously, he's older, and it's harder for him to see. So an 83-inch, I mean,
Don't get me wrong. As the proud owner of a 75-inch TV, yeah, I want an 83-inch TV.
and how much does an 83-inch TV cost?
If you go top of the line, about $2.5 grand. It's the New York Yankees.
Yeah, so how much does a gold watch cost? I don't know.
More than that if you get a good one.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Dramatically
But
more
I
than that.
think the gold watch thing is so passe, though.
I
I
agree.
mean, I don't know what the standard should be for retirement, but when I retire, if they want to give me an 83-inch TV, I'd be pretty happy about that.
I'll tell you what, if you work here for 55 years, and by the way, there's,
I've been here 24 and a half. I'm just saying.
and you have to do that again,
Again, yeah.
plus 10 more.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Like, good luck.
Wonder what my opinion of kids will be 24 years from now.
An 83-inch television. That was what they gave to a dude who lasted half of a century and longer.
All right. So I think this is a great gift for someone of that age. He's not going to go out and hobnob around town. He's going home to watch TV. I mean, if he was 40 and you give him a watch, that's fine. 80-something years old, that big of a TV. First of all, I hope they have someone to install it. I mean, you're not going to make that dude like carry those up the stairs or something. I think this is a great gift for someone of his age. As someone who is of advancing years, I'm telling you, and someone who used to go out and do stuff all the time, not the kind of stuff you did, but I was still out.
Rude and unnecessary.
Well, because you don't do this. How could you not? You could still go out and not do that stuff. Anyway, someone who now prefers to just go home, I would want the TV over the watch.
Listen, what? I don't know where you like. It's like
I'm offended that you're offended that they gave him a TV.
A TV. My man has been with you for
83. It isn't like
it
they gave him a 26-inch monitor or something. They gave him an 83-inch TV. What was the brand name? Did they say?
I don't know. I scratch that. I don't care. You gave my dude 55 years. You gave him an 83-inch TV. I quite literally said out loud, it looks like the brand they gave him for an 83-inch checks in at about $3,500.
Wow. So
You're
more than
the
what you
Yankees,
thought. So
for God's sakes.
So
You spend more than $35K on trash cans around the stadium.
by the way, I doubt that. I doubt they spent that much on trash cans.
I don't.
Because they'll buy them in bulk, so they're going to get a cheaper price on it. There's no way they're paying that much.
Listen, there's no defending. This was embarrassing.
It's a great gift. It is and I don't know if it's the age difference between you and I. I think you want to be offended, but you would I think you would prefer the 83 over the watch.
Oh, I definitely would. I'm saying,
See?
I'm saying you have boiled it down to this binary choice of it's either a TV or a watch.
No, you did.
Give my man give him some stuff for the wall.
We don't know. They did. That took up the whole wall.
Oh.
I mean, how much do you think that dude made per year to be the Yankees announcer? I'm guessing he did pretty well.
I promise you, he could afford an 83-inch TV if he wanted.
Yeah, but if you get one for free, that's even better.
Why are you defending the Yankees? It's gross.
I'm defending the TV as a retirement gift. I think it's a great retirement gift. I think a watch is a lame retirement gift because people don't use watches anymore unless they're fancy and rich and go to big parties. People use their phone. People use a phone.
Watches.
Where's your watch at today?
I'm not wearing it today.
Okay. All right.
I do have a G-Shock that I wear that matches this shirt. I just didn't put it on this morning.
Okay. All right. And I believe
Keegan's a big watch guy. Big watch guy.
I believe the majority
nice
of people
watch guy.
just look at their phone for time.
You don't wear a watch because you need to know what time it is. You wear a watch as a statement.
Right. When you're going somewhere fancy.
Hey, it is after 7 o'clock in the morning. You are inside of 1 hour away from clocking in, from responding to your unnecessarily passive-aggressive boss this morning, who for some reason is all up in his feels. All right, Joey B is a big watch guy too. Real big watch guy.
Okay.
Real big watch guy.
All right. You've found like 3 people. Good for you.
You said nobody? Okay. Water cooler
No,
cheat sheet.
I didn't say nobody.
You did.
I did not.
You said fancy people.
Yeah, that's not. No, I mean, Joe, I've ridden in his truck. My dude's rolling in it.
Joey B, you're a 1%er now, buddy.
It's a really nice truck.
You're fancy.
He's got a lot of room.
And Keegan, you're a fancy boy too now. All right. Water cooler cheat sheet, top 3 sports stories you need to know before you get to the office, start talking sports, yada, yada, yada. Let's do this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
That didn't go well.
Yeah, I was there's something flashed on the screen and it distracted me.
Water cooler cheat sheet, top 3 sports stories you need to know before you get to work today and start talking about sports with your friends or your family or your coworker or your dog or whoever it is that you work with on a daily basis. These are the items I'll be talking about. Let us begin, dudes and dudettes, with item number 1. NBA playoffs taking place last night. Game 2's happening across the board over in the Eastern Conference. The Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Orlando Magic in a game number 2. The Cavs entered this series 1-0 after blowing Orlando out in game number 1. They did it again last night. 96-86 is your final. 21 points for Paolo Banchero. And once again, he was asked to do it almost all by himself. He got 18 out of Wagner. Nobody else scored more than 14. In fact, only 2 other players in double digits for the Orlando Magi last night. Once again, Donovan Spida Mitchell took over that game. He ended up with 23. You had 4 starters in double digits. Mobley had 17, Allen 16, Garland 15, and you got 10 from Okoro off the bench. It was a real bad shooting night for the Magic. They went just 36% from the floor, 25% from the arc, and 73% from the stripe. The statistic in this one that I think jumps off the board at you the hardest: out-rebounded were the Magic, out-assisted were the Magic, out-stolen were the Magic, out-blocked were the Magic. They had more turnovers than the Cleveland Cavaliers did. Everything went sideways for the Orlando Magic. It was just bad. It was just bad. I really wanted this team to shock some folks. I thought, all right, this is a upstart team. This is a vivacious team. I think this team can take some of that youth, convert it into playoff energy, and surprise some people. The only surprised person is me, because they stink in the playoffs. Not the only game that happened last night. 76ers, Knicks, 104-101 after one of the worst single-game choke jobs that I have seen in the NBA playoffs in a very long time. The 76ers were hanging on to a big lead late in this game. A big lead late in this game. Inside of 47 seconds left to play, the Sixers had a 5-point lead. I mean, at this point, they're going to foul. You just go knock down your free throws and you win the game. Instead, what happened was they had a turnover. Jalen Brunson knocked down a 3. On the very next inbounds, the 76ers attempted to call a timeout. It was not successful. Tyrese Maxey turned the ball over on the inbounds pass. It gets batted around. It ends up in the hands of Dante DiVincenzo. He breaks the 3. No worries. It got rebounded by Hartenstein, who then kicked it back up top. Another opportunity afforded to Dante DiVincenzo. This time, he did not miss. One of his 4 3-pointers on the night drops. It gives the New York Knickerbockers the lead with seconds left to go. Not one, but 2 different 76ers, including Joel Embiid, had an opportunity late in the game for a tie or a go-ahead bucket, and they missed. It was bad. Now, I take a little bit of the choke job label away, because if the timeout that Nick Nurse was very clearly on video calling for and was not awarded by the officials gets signaled, the Sixers take the ball inbounds at half court. Completely different ball game, but that's not what happened. It's not what happened. No timeout granted, and the 76ers lose that game. The Lakers and the Nuggets came down to the dying gasp of the game. As a matter of fact, LeBron James lifted up a spot wide open 3 from the top of the arc with just seconds left to play, that if he converts, the Lakers probably win this game. Instead, back down the other way we go with a tied ball game. Jamal Murray, as the red light goes off on the backboard, hoist up a game winner from about 10 feet, and he hits nothing but the bottom of the strings. The Nuggets win 101-99 off the back of 27, 20, and 10. Stop me if you heard this before. Nikola Jokic gets a triple-double. He had a first quarter double-double. First quarter, not first half. First quarter double-double last night. It was very, very good. Very, very good. Triple-double for Nikola Jokic as the Lakers, downed by Denver. The top seed wins in all 3 games. The top seed is 2-0 in all 3 series after that. Let's roll on very quickly through item number 2. We know quarterbacks are going to be moving around during the draft. We are talking about draft prospects. We are also talking about vets in the league. We know that a year and a half ago, the Jets told Zach Wilson that they would work to accommodate his future. We also know that this offseason, very early in it, the Jets gave Zach Wilson permission to seek out a trade partner. He has found that trade partner. The New York Jets are sending Zach Wilson along with a 7th-round pick to the Denver Broncos in return for a 6th-round pick. Not a first, not a second, not a first and a 4th, not a 5th and a 6th and a 7th. Nay, they are sending Zach and a 7th in return for a 6th-rounder.
So he wasn't worth a 6 on his own. I mean, they had to throw in that 7th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Not. The Broncos are going to be real
Wait,
bad.
but who's going to back up Aaron Rodgers now?
This is not a joke. Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
Who, by the way, gets a bad rap. Tyrod Taylor's been a very solid backup who has been screwed by the football gods many times. Remember when he got his lung punctured through absolutely no fault of his own? Like, that's crap. That's what's happened Tyrod Taylor's entire career. Anyway, Zach Wilson, not a Jet anymore. The Broncos hang on to the 12th overall pick. The assumption was that they were going to be picking QB. The Rob Brown mock draft will make its debut over the next 2 days. I will tell you a great one. That's where I slotted J.J. McCarthy. I think he's exactly the type of quarterback that Sean Payton would take to the next level. And by take to the next level, I mean bring to the league, not like elevate him to a Super Bowl.
All right, you got to pick between JJ and Zach as your starter. Who are you going with?
Depression.
Probably.
A season-long hibernation. Probably a lot of free Sundays where I don't have to worry about football. You know, lots of golf on Sunday afternoons if I got to go in that direction. And finally, item number 3, very quickly. I don't think this is a big one to anybody, but in the honor of the great Malonzo, Andy Reid's a Chief for like a long more time.
Well, all the talk last year was he was going to retire.
Yeah.
He never said that, but
Yeah.
but everybody else, Andy, when are you going to retire? Andy, when are you going to retire? Why? They just want him to retire, obviously. And that's disrespectful. I just want to point out.
Crap.
That's very
crap.
disrespectful.
It's over. It's over. The Chiefs' Pete is underway. Unbelievable. Andy Reid gets 66 years old, gets a contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs that will keep him in KC. What was it? 5 more years? 3 more years? I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. He's still a Chief.
That dude's going to be a Chief for a bit. The Walrus is sticking around for a hot minute. Hey, let's talk some more draft when we come back. Rob Alonso and you, the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate.
Prospects.
All right, guys, quick live read. We're coming right back. Y'all stay right there. There's a guy installing a billboard across the street from us, and I'm 39 years old. I've never seen anybody put up a billboard. It's wild. Meme.
Oh yeah, I saw it. He's done. The wrinkle's gone. He's lowering his stuff. Yeah, he's done. It's a good day, Rob.
It's a great day.
We got to see something we've never seen before.
There's a guy putting up a billboard across the street from the studio. And I'm 39 years old. I've never seen a billboard get installed. And I realized that I'm having a whole week full of firsts. You know what I get to do? I just learned yesterday. I'll take you behind the scenes in the life of Rob Brown. I get to have my first root canal. So that's fun. I've never done that before. Not excited about it at all.
They're not as bad as they used to be. It's still going to hurt, but
for those of you that weren't around, you will remember that in my first year here, way back in 2020, I passed out.
Because he met me for the first time, and there we go.
That is correct. I met Lonzo for the first time, and then 3 days later at a bar in Charleston, South Carolina. And the upsetting part, because I know there's somebody going, "Oh, you drunk?" I had just walked in the door. I had not had a drink yet. I had a vasovagal incident, as I've learned it's called.
Also known as tripping.
Nope. I had a vasovagal incident, which is where the
By the way, I didn't mean like
your,
tripping on something. I meant like someone tripped him. I wanted to, yeah.
The blood supply to my brain got cut off for no known reason. And I went face first. I ended up breaking the bottom half of my front two teeth. Well, it turns out it created an abscess. None of you care about this. Created an abscess in one of my teeth that is still there. And so I got to get my first root canal. Just having a week is your boy.
You know what? They do care because they can, the majority of the people I'm sure can associate with that. They've had that happen to them. Not the falling down and breaking their teeth.
I was going to say, I doubt that.
But the abscess part.
Anyway, got to see. So I had that yesterday, and now I've gotten to see a billboard installed. And it's just it's a big day. It's a big day.
And you know what? It's only Tuesday.
Yeah. Who knows what adventures and fun are held? I want to get to the draft, but I'm gonna play this audio for you. You will remember, ladies and gentlemen, that not terribly long ago, Deion Sanders was hired as the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. And there was a conversation that took place. Because in the first few games of the season for the Buffs last year, with prime time in charge, Colorado games became the biggest ticket in sports, right? They had Lil Wayne, the turncoat that he is, rapping the team out of the tunnel, right? And there was this big conversation when you partnered that up with the NIL era about would NIL combined with celebrity coaches be an advantage for certain teams? And I took a lot of crap because I said at the time, no, this is going to go real bad. This is not going to be good. See, because when Deion was the head coach, Jackson State, he wasn't a great coach because he's a great coach. He was a great coach because he was a celebrity at a school that played other schools that did not have the ability to recruit like he did by being Deion.
So he was bringing in D1 talent to a school that wasn't playing D1
Correct.
talent, and it made him look Okay. All
He
right.
was playing NCAA football on freshman mode while he had a Madden roster, right? So I said, when this guy goes up, and he's going to go up, when he goes up to a D1 level and other schools don't have his celebrity, but they do have legacy, history, budget that they can, I'm not going to say out recruit Dion because he had a phenomenal first year. But when his celebrity no longer guarantees him the best roster, it's going to come down to the X's and the O's. And a celebrity coach is just not going to have the ability to X and O with the best. Well, they came out, great first game, good start to the season, and then eventually game film came out. And then eventually other teams started seeing what Deion Sanders is and his coaching and his video and his film and all that. And the rest of the year went, I think it's fair to say, bad for Deion and the Colorado Buffaloes. Well, Colorado is seeing a lot of transfer portal players on the way out the door. They are seeing some guys come in, but they're seeing a lot of guys who are leaving the program right now. Adam Hopkins, a freshman wide receiver, part of the 2023 class, an upper four-star prospect. Eric Brantley, a freshman defensive end out of Valdosta, an upper three-star, is out. Kyrie Mance is a senior defensive lineman who transferred in from Maine, had a good season for the Buffs last year. He is now transferring out. Vito Tisdale, a junior safety who transferred in from Kentucky, played 1 year. He is out. Shimon Metayer, a senior tight end who transferred in from Cincinnati, who was expected to be a big part of the offense. He is out. D.V. Harris, senior defensive lineman. Demoy Kennedy, junior linebacker who came in from Alabama, the number 82 prospect in the country in 2020. Alta McCaskill, junior running back who came in from Houston. David Connor, freshman offensive lineman who came in from Florida. All these guys that Deion brought in via the portal, they're all now exiting. A lot of questions about why. Well, one of the other guys that they are losing is a cat by the name of Cormani McClain. He is a sophomore cornerback. He was a 5-star prospect in the 2023 recruiting class. He was the number 14 overall player in the recruiting class. The guy basically was one of a handful of players that got to call his shot and play anywhere that he wanted to play. And he just decided he is out at Colorado. Would you like to know why? Cormani McClain will explain it to you.
Change the narrative of everyone's thinking on my name, be a part of a real and a great program that's going to impact me at my best ability. And yeah, ready to get to a new place and get to work. I feel like I just don't want to play for the Clicks. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program that's going to develop players.
Shots fired, dudes. He said, I want to play for a real program. He said, I want to play for a program where they develop talent. One of the things I thought Deion Sanders was
how much did he play? How much playing time did this guy have?
Cormani McClain signed with them going into last year. He did not see game action until the 4th week of the season, but it was not because of talent. It was because he butted heads with Deion. It was because he and Deion had beef.
Okay, I'm not trying to defend Deion on this, but this is the state of college football. This is what you do. You find a reason to, I didn't like the coach. I didn't like this. You got to be careful dissing programs on your way out the door. You just do. I think eventually maybe you can't transfer anymore. Maybe.
I mean, right now you can transfer as many times as you want.
Well, you can continue to transfer, but eventually if you get a rep that you're gonna dog the team on the way out the door, then maybe they don't bring you in.
Ray Lewis killed a guy and we celebrate him for being a football player. That'll never be a problem. If you can ball, you'll have a landing spot.
This guy doesn't have the talent of Ray Lewis, I'm guessing.
I'm not saying he does. I'm saying he can ball. And what I'm saying is we have established a culture in this country where if you can ball, we don't care what you do or who you are.
Okay, I'm not wanting to fight because I never want to fight. But why do you want Dion to fail?
I don't want Dion
Because
to fail.
it seems like you do.
I have done more based on Dion than anybody in this building. I own now, Lonzo, 3 pairs of Dion sunglasses.
Yeah, I was there when you bought some of them. So,
I got 3 pairs. I have been hashtag influence. Here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when Dion got the job, there was the panic. Oh no, with NIL and with celebrity coaches like Dion, it's all going to go sideways. Well, my guys and my gals, Dion is still there. NIL is still there. And the Buffs are going to suck next year because their recruiting's not good. They are hemorrhaging guys to the portal. Everybody's out because here's the reality. Again, if you have a program that wins and a program that develops players and a program where players can thrive both on and off the field, you'll get players. It's real simple.
Someone should pull the video of you and just put some rap lyrics behind it because your hand motions. It's like you're doing a diss track over there. It's amazing.
I ain't trying to diss anybody. I'm saying for all of y'all that slammed the panic button, here is illustration number 94. Dion can't keep guys in the camp. Deion Sanders can't keep guys in the camp. With NIL money out the wazoo and with his celebrity, he can't keep guys in the camp. Have a good coach who understands, communicates, develops, and allows players to thrive on and off the field, and you will have a successful program even in the NIL era. Ooh. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Yeah, I can't keep us on time if you talk all the way through 3 minutes of a bet.
You said something. I had to respond. I can't have somebody else have the last word when I'm right.
Well, Whiz and Ands on occasion can have the last word, maybe. I don't know. Tyrant. Don't you dare spit take on your
I was
laptop.
very close.
Don't you do that.
I was very close. You almost made Chris mad.
Yeah, like I don't do that daily. Again, I don't, where's all this disdain and stuff in my voice? I am even killed. I am as laid back as anybody in this building. I don't have to bring energy. It's all over there. From the News Talk 98.9 Traffic Center. Let's check out the jam cam. Keegan, dear sir, cockiness, I don't know how to do that. I do have that problem that if, and I don't think other people have this problem. If I show confidence, I'm being cocky. I don't. Maybe it's expressions. Have to spend some mirror time. Just sitting in front of the mirror going, okay, that's a harsh expression. I should eliminate that. That is a calm expression. I need to add more of that. That is a puzzled look. I can't get rid of that.
Yeah, nope. Yep. Got it.
Nope.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It is the Fan Upstate. Robin Lonzo with you.
You gotta have something ready for that last part. It's the last part that gets me.
Let's talk NFL draft.
By the way, it physically hurts me, but I don't know why.
I told you how you can get rid of it.
Cotton? I mean, I don't.
Nah, get rid of the first clip.
Oh, I don't. I'm never doing that.
Okay.
Unless someone down the hall goes, okay, that's enough. Which, if they say that's enough, then suddenly, when they say that's enough, then I'm not going to play a clip multiple times because I don't want to. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in trouble.
Yeah, no, for sure. That checks out. That makes sense. All right, let's talk some NFL draft here before we get up out of here. For the remainder of the day, we have got Zach Wilson on the move from the New York Jets out to the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have the 12th seed, and the assumption was that they were going to go quarterback here. The fact that they don't, does it mean that either A, they don't believe that J.J. McCarthy will be available at 12, as he is the last of that initial group of quarterbacks, or do they believe that
a plan B in case J.J. McCarthy isn't there? Wow.
So do they believe, A, that J.J. McCarthy won't be available at 12, and they do not want to give up resources in what is clearly a rebuilding time for the Denver Broncos, as they will be paying the quarterback of the Steelers $85 million next year? Or do they believe, B, the other option, which is J.J. McCarthy will be available, but they don't want him? Because to me, it kind of feels like it's got to be one of those two. They either think McCarthy's way off the board at 12 and they don't want to move up, or they do not believe in McCarthy. Like, to me, it's one of those two things, in my opinion. We have talked a lot about quarterbacks. We obviously will continue to talk a lot about quarterbacks because that's the position that the NFL is circling around right now. If you look down the list of quarterbacks, again, I don't think the guy is the end-all, be-all, but Mel Kiper's been doing this a very long time for a reason. He's got Caleb Williams as his first quarterback, Jaden Daniels as his second quarterback, Drake May as his third quarterback. He's got J.J. McCarthy as his fourth quarterback. And then on his position rankings, this is every quarterback in the game, every player on the draft board. You got to go all the way down to 24 to find Michael Penix Jr., his fifth-ranked quarterback. For comparison's sake, he's got J.J. McCarthy listed as the 15th best player in this draft, all positions included. I don't know which way Denver's leading, but I said it yesterday. I said it today. I'll say it again Thursday when we're live at Dave & Buster's from 3 to 7 for Wire to Wire with Cole Bryson and Diesel. I will be there, and I will be joining him on the air from 5 to 7 p.m. So it'll be me, Cole, and Diesel from 5 to 7 talking draft. So, knowing that, be at Dave & Buster's on Thursday. I have said, and I continue to say, I think the J.J. McCarthy thing is a league-wide smokescreen. I am going full tinfoil cap on this one. I think once some teams said, J.J. McCarthy, for sure. That guy that his coaches didn't trust him to throw the ball in the biggest games. That's the guy we're going to go with. To me, thought is the rest of the teams were able to look at that and go, oh, yeah, no, us too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, definitely. Us too. I don't think that's the guy. Now, let's talk about some other positions. There's one position I'm really interested in. In fact, there's one particular player that I'm very interested to see where he goes. some of the better offenses have started over the last few years to bring back the tight end as a major role player. Hey, Lonzo, noted Kansas City Chiefs fan, how valuable would you say that a difference maker at tight end has been to the Kansas City Chiefs the last few years?
Well, historically, it's been really good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tony Gonzalez, don't forget about him. Now they may not have won Super Bowls then, but they won quite a few playoffs. So tight end has been valuable for that franchise for quite some time.
Tony Gonzalez as an Atlanta Falcon destroyed me as a person. Right? Destroyed me as a person. Hated that guy.
Yeah, but he went there and they didn't win. So I mean,
Well, they've never won. They've gotten close.
There's that one time, when they were doing the Dirty Bird thing, they still lost.
Jamal.
Yeah, I shouldn't have brought him up. He got in trouble for some stuff.
Yeah. Brock Bowers.
Don't look it up, especially not at work.
Brock Bowers might be the guy in this draft that the fewest people are talking about that I think is going to be a massive difference maker for wherever he ends up.
It's going to be a Chief, man. You go see. They're going to find a way to make him a Chief.
That's a big trade up for a tight end, bro. Now, if
would they have to trade up to get him?
Yes.
Well, they'll have to trade up some because they won the championship last year, which means they pick last.
You're drafting 32nd.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is off the board by 9.
That's what happens when you win it all. But they've been pretty clever with their drafting. So maybe they find a way to trade up and get him.
Brock Bowers is going to be a difference maker. Brock Bowers is absolutely a dude that if I'm Kansas City, and I believe as I do personally, I think Lonzo does, that Travis Kelce is very clearly narrowing in on the end of his career.
Yeah.
Because, he's Mrs. Taylor Swift.
No, he's Mr.
Or Mr. Taylor Swift.
As far as we know. And the thing is, he's got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yep. He's got himself a new game show that he's hosting.
As we talked about, I think it was last week, he's got the wrestler vibe that's getting ready to go to Hollywood.
Yep.
He's got that vibe. You see the signs, okay, he's getting ready to take off.
Yep. That would be a perfect landing spot for Brock Bowers. He ain't going to be available at 32.
I would say don't trade Kelce away to get him.
I don't think you guys would.
You don't want to do that, but yeah.
I think Kansas City, I think you guys, frankly, are selling out on the three-peat. I think it's all in on the three-peat. I think it is wildly important. In fact, I will go as far as to say, I think Kelce probably steps away if it's not for the opportunity to three-peat. I think that's what kept him there because I think otherwise he's gone.
I want to disagree with you, but I think you're probably right.
Yeah. So I think Kansas City selling on the three-peat. And while I'd like to think that they are committed to investing in the future as well, I think that they're going to invest in the future provided it doesn't have a negative impact on the present. I think the three-peat matters that much. I think trading up for Brock Bowers, as much as it would make sense for 2025 and beyond, probably dings your chances at 2024 because there are positions you guys need to get better at.
But at the same time, Andy Reid signing an extension, and you need that tight end role filled. And for now, Brock Bowers is a guy that really stands out.
Oh, 100%. But again, where are you going to get that guy? Where are you going to get that guy? Brock Bowers is coming off the board, I'm going to say, in the top 10 picks. I'll give you one landing spot that I am very curious about. There's a few spots I think he could land in the top 10. We know that Caleb Williams is going to Chicago at this point. It's not a question mark anymore. That's a statement. It's not a prediction. It is a spoiler alert. We know it too. Washington is going to go with the quarterback. My belief, Jane Daniels. My first trade, I think the New England Patriots are dropping out of 3. Because while I do think that Drake May is kind of the prototypical New England quarterback, I think you're about to see a very new look New England Patriots under Gerard Mayo. I think that they have a desire to drop not the Patriot way, but the Belichick way. So I think they trade back, and while I do think Drake May is exactly the kind of quarterback that would have fit in there in years gone by, in 8 years gone by.
Trading back is the Belichick way.
That's also true.
If you want to get out of that, then you go ahead and draft at 3.
Here's where I think you move. Number 12, trade with the Denver Broncos. Denver jumps up and takes whoever is left between Jaden Daniels and Drake May. That's who I think you end up with. Yeah, I think Zach Wilson is the perfect sacrificial lamb for that spot. You can bring Zach Wilson in, make him the starter. You can dress it up as he's a second, he's a first round draft pick, and it's a second chance opportunity. We saw enough out of New York that we feel like with the right coach, Sean Payton, with the right setup, we believe that Zach Wilson has a shot. And if he does, great. You look like geniuses. And if he stinks, you've utilized him to buy your rookie, Jaden Daniels or Drake May, an opportunity to grow a little bit, to learn the league, to learn the speed of the league, instead of just throwing them to the wolves like the Bears are going to do with Caleb Williams. I think Arizona's guarding Marvin Harrison Jr. You got to get a target there for Kyler Murray. I think that the Los Angeles Chargers have no choice at all but to go wide receivers. That's Malik Neighbors. I think the New York Football Giants have got to go with, I don't know, I'll bounce back and forth on this. I do not think J.J. McCarthy's the guy. And if he's not, and you're going to give Danny Dimes one more chance to ride with the G-men, I think you got to get him a target. Rome Odunze. Joe Alt. Tennessee's got to stack offensive linemen. Atlanta, I'm a little curious about. But based on the quarterback situation in the league, I think they got to go defense. And I'm going to put the mock draft together tonight. I'll have the whole thing together for you. This is just my prototype. I think number 9, the Raiders. The Raiders just got themselves a new quarterback, Gardner Minshew. I also don't think anybody thinks that, as much as I love the guy, as much as I 100% want to ride around with an RV and be friends with Gardner Minshew, I don't think any of us are under the false pretense that Gardner Minshew is a franchise quarterback. Again, am I slotting J.J. McCarthy? Am I slotting Michael Penix? I'm going to go Michael Penix Jr. here. I think even though he's a little bit older, I think he's the right pick. And then, Lonzo, at number 10, Brock Bowers to go play with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. He's off the board at 10. That guy. What
a move that would be.
I think it would be spectacular. You've got a decent wide receiver core in New York. You don't have a tight end. You want to put a tight end out there with Aaron Rodgers. You want to give him the easy target. You want to give him the trustworthy target. You want to give him the consistent target. Brock Bowers is the best tight end to come out of college football in a hot minute. Brock Bowers off the board at 10. I think the NFL the last couple of years has gotten to the point where they recognize and they realize the value of having an elite tight end. And I think you can mostly thank Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes for that. If I'm a quarterback at the NFL level, I am lobbying to have a top-notch tight end. I'm lobbying to have that big guy that runs that seam route or runs that dump route. Brock Bowers is the best college prospect at that position that we have seen in a very, very long time. That's a top 10 pick. I am real interested. Brock Bowers is in the discussion, and I mean this. I thought about this a lot. I don't say stuff like this lightly. Brock Bowers is in the discussion for the greatest college football tight end of all time. He's in that discussion. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he's in that discussion. And if he's in that discussion, you are ridiculous to not make a run at that. You are ridiculous to not add that to your roster. I think the pass on this guy inside the top 9 spots that are going to look back at it years down the road and go, yeah, crap. We could have had Travis Kelce volume 2.0 and we screwed it up. You know who's not going to screw up? Not one time? Lonzo doing the Sports Flash.
Challenge accepted. A back and forth affair that saw multiple clutch buckets from both teams ended with a 101-99 win for Denver over the Lakers. Anthony Davis scored 32. LeBron had 26, including a couple of big buckets inside the last minute. But Jamal Murray hit a big jumper late that sealed the deal as part of his 20 points, while Nikola Jokic had 27. The Carolina Hurricanes now hold a 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders after a 5-3 win last night. New York led the game 3-0 after 24 minutes, but Carolina fought back, including a Sebastian Aho empty netter with 2:15 left. And make sure you join Wire to Wire this Thursday as Cole Bryson and Diesel broadcast live from Dave & Buster's in Greenville. Come out and hang with the guys as they get you ready for the first round of the NFL draft. 3-7 this Thursday. It's live. It's on location. It's also, of course, Wire to Wire. The Sports Flash, and I get to hear Jam Cam. It's just an amazing day. By the way, I saw the goating with the sound clips earlier. I play them when they need to be played, and Rob plays more than I do. I will send raspberry sounds in your general direction.
He does. He's saying he can ball.
Sounds so excited.
Reality shows, game shows, sports, Star Trek, and even more Star Trek. No matter what mood you're in, there's something on Pluto TV. Just download the app and start streaming. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not for either. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in every bite with the new Cinnabon Pull Apart.
Unique and unlike any other sports talk show, it's BetMGM Tonight, Monday through Friday from 7 to 11, only on the Fan. BetMGM Tonight is the red zone for casual and hardcore sports fans. Live sports betting updates for all of the night's games as they happen. The latest scores, sides, totals, props, parlays, futures, and much more with real-time, relevant sports wagertainment tonight at 7. BetMGM Tonight, exclusively on the Fan. And on the Odyssey app. It's the Rob Brown Show.
Inevitably, what happens? I am not going to sink to your level of negativity. You've defeated.
Yeah, I wish I could grow a good enough mustache to be the Raiders quarterback. Can't do it.
Yeah, but was it though? No, it was not inevitable because you were wrong and they won. QC in the first break.
QC in the first break.
Hey, Big Daddy, how you doing?
Real good, Corey LaJoy. Thanks for checking. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another rousing hour of the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Rob Brown and the great Lonzo with you as we roll into hour number 3 of the foremost electrifying hours in sports talk entertainment. Spectacular to have you. We're talking draft today. We're talking NBA shooty hoops today, as we had three more playoff games go down last night, and in all 3 games, the favorite won. In all 3 games, there's just chalk all over the floor, man. All over the floor. We're going to talk more NBA later on in the show. We'll talk some more NBA draft later in the show. But before we get to that, before we jump into that, we have had a lot of conversation over the last forever about the state of officiating in professional sports. We've talked about it at length. And I think there's a very good reason we've talked about it at length. It's because primarily it's been bad. It's been bad. Not exclusively bad. Not entirely bad.
I don't know what you could say primarily. There have been moments of bad officiating in spots that may have cost people games.
For sure. For sure. Yesterday, we had yet another development of umpires in Major League Baseball being dumb and or bad. There was a Yankees game yesterday. It was in the daytime. It happened against the Oakland Athletics. And it was quite interesting because during that baseball contest, the manager of the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone, was having some words with one of the umpires. In fact, the behind the plate umpire. He was getting into it a little bit with umpire Hunter Windelstedt. It's German, I assume. So, got into it with old Hunter Windelstedt. And once he did, there was a bit of a commotion because Aaron Boone started getting agitated, justifiably, with some of the real not good calls that were getting made by Windelstedt. There was a moment where Windelstedt called over Aaron Boone, manager of the Yankees. And he said, "Hey, bro, I need you to stop chirping, bud. I need you to stop chirping. I need you to shut your stupid mouth and stop talking to me." Which is fine. He has the right to do it. He has the right to tell a manager, "I need you to shut your mouth. I need your team to shut their mouths. I need y'all to not do this anymore." And again, That's their prerogative. That's their right. Well, about an inning later, Wendelstedt turned because he heard something coming from out of or around the Yankee bullpen. And when he did, he went ahead and he ejected Aaron Boone. Because, again, he heard something coming around from that dugout that apparently sounded like Aaron Boone, giving him the business, as the old expression goes. He said, "Hey, Aaron Boone.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni."
I feel like we got to get more bites in. I feel like I've been slacking on that. Anyway, it turns out Aaron Boone, and this is provable on videotape, Aaron Boone did not say anything. There was a fan that was behind the dugout, and he was the one chirping at the ump. He was the one that said, "Hey, Blue,
You should know your role and shut your mouth."
You're bad at your job, and you should stop being bad at your job." The umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt, thought it was Aaron Boone, tossed him from the game. Aaron Boone obviously had a big problem with it. Aaron Boone came out and said, "Yo, I did not say a word, man. You told me to shut my mouth, so I shut my mouth. I did not say anything, my guy. Not a word." And Hunter Wendelstedt did not believe him. Didn't believe him. Said, "Nope, sorry, bro, you're gone. You're out of here." Aaron Boone, again, justifiably upset about the situation, went after the game and was like, "Yo, I don't know what you want me to do there. Like, I didn't say anything. I had nothing to do with this." And he didn't. That was correct. Now, that's fine, right? It's unfortunate. It's a bad situation. Here's where, to me, you bump into a bit of a problem. Where you bump into a bit of a problem is that after the game was over, Hunter Wendelstedt had his, as umpires do, post-game press conference. And when he was asked about the situation, he said, quote, apparently what he said was there was a fan right above the dugout. "This isn't my first ejection. In the entirety of my career, I have never ejected a player or a manager for something a fan has said. I understand that's going to be a part of a story or something like that because that's what Aaron was portraying. I heard something come from the far end of the dugout, had nothing to do with his area, but he's the manager of the Yankees, so he's the one that had to go. Everything you said is exactly kind of what was communicated on the field. That's what Aaron said. He said a fan said it. A fan said it. I said, I don't care who said it. It's foolish to throw out a player if you don't know who did it." Here's what I have an issue with in this situation. What I have an issue with is the fact that baseball distinctly lacks, umpires distinctly lack the ability to say or acknowledge in any way, shape, or form that, like, maybe it's me. Maybe I did this. This is the kind of crap that is turning people off to you. This is the kind of crap that makes people not want to tune in anymore. This is the kind of crap that makes people go, if this is what this league is going to be, if this is what this league is going to be about, then I don't want any part of it. I'm not saying that there's no justification for this umpire to feel the way he felt in the moment. What I'm saying is this. It was quite literally on the television broadcast. You could see it happen in real time. There's a guy behind the dugout. He's wearing all blue. He yells at the blue. And the guy, Hunter Vendelstadt, just turns, and before he even faces the dugout, hits Aaron Boone with the old toss finger. You're gone. You're out of here. This is why I've said time and time again, there needs to be some sort of system where there's a couple of guys in New York City, or there's a couple of guys in Los Angeles, or there's a couple of guys in Chicago, Illinois, or whatever, that are watching these games on TV, and they can go,
boop. Hey, Hunter. Yeah, it's Jim up in New York. We're watching the game here, and Aaron Boone didn't say anything. That was the fan behind the dugout. So we need you to uneject Aaron Boone, because
you can't have a game where the Yankees, the only team, by the way, in Major League Baseball that had an early game yesterday. And y'all, I hate a New York Yankee, just so we're clear. Can't stand a Yankee. All right. Can't stand him. But you can't have a situation.
Why can you not stand a Yankee?
Their fans are obnoxious, and they are the most entitled fan base in America. They put the Dallas Cowboys to shame.
I don't know any Yankee fans.
Good. Congratulations. That's how you want it to be. With all due respect, Yankees fans, your fan base by and large, individual Yankees fans are fine. As a group, Yankees fans by and large, as a whole, obnoxious as they come in the land of sports. It's unfortunate, but true. So this dude goes out there. There's no system in place where there can be any sort of monitoring. There's no system in place where somebody could beep down and go, you just tossed the manager of the most prestigious ball club in any sport that America plays. You just tossed that guy, and we need you to not do that. And then later on down the line, when given the opportunity to reflect on the situation, I don't know about you, great one, but when I was growing up, my parents used to tell me, if you screw up, you acknowledge it, you accept responsibility for it, you accept the consequences of it, you apologize for it, and then you try to do better next time. The mark of a good person is not that they do not make mistakes. The mark of a good person is that they acknowledge their mistakes and they try to do better. Hunter Vendelstadt and the Major League Baseball Umpires Association had an opportunity here to increase their standing with baseball fans, and all that they had to do was go, that's on us, we bleeped up. I tried to hit my button. There it is. That's on us, we up. We screwed the pooch on this one. Aaron Boone did not say anything. He should not have been ejected. We officially apologize to the New York baseball Yankees. And we hope to get it right and do better next time. That's all that you had to do. It ain't complicated. It ain't difficult. Just make the apology, acknowledge that you screwed up, and try to do better next time. Is that what the umpires did here? Hell no, it's not. What they decided to do was have their guy go out there and double down on the situation. What they decided was the right thing to do was to send that guy out there to go, it's kind of on him. It's kind of his fault. All he had to do was nothing. Dude, own it. Own it. This is the kind of crap that we are talking about. This is the kind of stuff that has, yes, indeed, turned people off to you, to your sport, to everything that goes on in the land of baseball. This is it. It took absolutely nothing at all for your guy to go out there and go, I messed up, man. Like that's on me. Aaron didn't do anything wrong. Aaron didn't deserve to get tossed. We apologize to the Yankees. But instead, what they decided to do was say, well, he's the manager, so he had to go. No, he really didn't. He really did not have to go at all, as a matter of fact. In fact, quite the opposite. He should have been allowed to have stayed because he, again, so we're clear, didn't do anything. And the fact that we have hit this spot where Major League Baseball fans look at these situations and go, this is very dumb. And we have to continuously look at these situations and say, this is dumb and or bad, and it should not be happening. And it's allowed to continue. I haven't even talked about how atrocious the balls and strikes calls have been this year. I got Angel Hernandez out here last weekend ringing guys up on called third strikes on pitches, though, that were 6.68 inches outside. That's not an inch, 2 inches. That's not millimeters. That's not maybe he painted the corner. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Angel wore the wrong insole and he was leaning over just a little bit. This man is calling ring up third strikes on pitches that were the size of my hand outside of the plate. And do you know what the response has been? Do you know what the response has been from Major League Baseball? Do you know what the response has been from Angel Hernandez? Do you know what the response has been from the MLB Umpires Association? Crickets. Nada. That's our bad. We blew it. We got umps out here that are dictating the game for no reason in exactly the wrong way.
So
Not a word.
I only hear fan complaints. I don't hear any complaints from within the game itself. Are they just worried about fines?
Yep.
Do they? So you know for sure that they feel the same way that all the loud fans do.
Yep. In a damn doubt in my mind. Not a second of doubt in my mind that these players have got at this point to be furious by this. I don't know what else at this point they could feel about it, to be honest with you. It is atrocious. If you or I, great one, were as bad at our jobs as these umps are at theirs, we would certifiably be unemployed at this point. That is not a question. That is a statement. It is beyond embarrassing at this point. And here's an opportunity, a very simple one, for them to take accountability, own a mistake that changed the game, and instead they come out and they go, yeah. No, he's a manager. He's got to be in control of the dugout. Well, it didn't come from the dugout. Hey, it's close enough. Aaron Boone's responsible for fans? Shut up. This crap is so tired. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
QC.
All right, guys, quick live read, and we're coming right back. Y'all stay right there. We'll BRB.
this. You know, I'm not trying to cause a problem or anything, but the bad Lakers fans, the bad Cowboys fans, the bad Yankees fans, the bad Duke fans, I've never met any of them. So when you hear about it, it's like myth, because there are no examples of this other than people seeming to echo what they've heard. Well, that's a bad fan base. I've recognized some fan bases that I've actually met people from, and none of those are on that list. So to me, it's a myth until I'm proven otherwise. $50.
The Hurricanes took a commanding 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders last night. And by the way, the single most dramatic fashion that they possibly could have. They trailed in this game 3-0. And then they started chipping away. A Sebastian Aho empty netter ended up tying the game 9 seconds late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how long it took for the Canes to take a 2-goal change of momentum in that game. Frederik Andersen was under assault from the Islanders last night. The Islanders were playing on the forecheck all night long. They were staying as much as they could in the offensive or on their offensive zone. They were doing everything they could to prevent the Hurricanes from getting out of their third of the ice. They played on the forecheck all night long. And for a very long time, it was like it was confusing Carolina, which is interesting because ordinarily they are the team playing on the forecheck. Ordinarily, they are the team that is spending the majority of their time in the other team's offensive goal. Frederik Andersen was under assault in front of the net last night, like to the point that I almost thought you might have to go with a goalie change here. You might have to get that guy out from under the net, because if the Islanders put another couple on the board, you might destroy that guy before you throw him out there for game 3. And if you get ripped by the Islanders in game 2 and you go back to 1-1, when you're going back to New York after this, that's not great. That's not great. But he got bailed out. The Canes went with an empty net. It sprung Sebastian Aho. Aho was able to pop one in. Then they obviously had to put the keeper back in the strings. And when they did, Jordan Martinook was there. The Canes, to me, kept waiting for something to happen. They needed something to latch onto. Playoff hockey is a different world. It's a different thing. And I think we say this about every sport, right? Playoff whatever is the best version of that. Playoff NBA basketball is a different form of basketball than NBA's regular season. I don't know that there is any sport that has a more intense postseason than National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoff hockey. And last night, you could feel that. This is a Canes team under Rob Brind'Amour. I've said a number of times that Don Staley is my favorite coach going any sport, any level. And I'm not walking that back. Dawn Staley is my favorite coach of any sport at any level. Her competition right now is Rod Brindamore. Dude, this guy is the quintessential Carolina Hurricane. Last night was a game that it would have been, I don't want to say understandable because you're a professional athlete. Your job is to stare down adversity and thrive in its face. And there's probably no sport that calls upon kind of an old school, I don't really know how else to put it, just violent mentality more than hockey, specifically in the Stanley Cup playoff chase. A lot of teams would have folded last night. A lot of teams would have had a letdown moment last night. When they got down 3, a lot of teams would have said, all right, on to game 3, on to the next one, as Jay-Z once said. I think a lot of teams would have had a big letdown moment once they went down 3. And instead, Rod Brindamore had his team pick the intensity up. Now, going empty net is not anything that's shocking in that moment. In the NHL, you got to win the game. You got to win the game. So if you're down 3-2, keeping your goalie in the net, 3-2 is just as bad as losing 4-2. But it's not nearly as good as tying the game up at 3-3 and at least giving yourself a shot. So this team going to an empty net set is the right move in that spot, but it wasn't just that they went to an empty net set. It's that when they went to an empty net, they also, to me, flipped the philosophy and flipped the vibe of the game on its head. When they went to the empty net, for a lot of teams in that spot, when you go to the empty net, you end up feeling like you have to be wildly careful with the biscuit. You can't just send it down onto the other zone. Can't send it down into the far third and see what happens. You cannot spray and pray with an empty net, because the last thing you need is a spot where you send it down there, their goalkeeper picks it up, flips it back the other way, and you end up giving up a goalie goal, which kills anything you might have had. So most teams, when they end up in an empty net set like Carolina did last night, most teams in that spot end up being super possessive. They end up being super careful. They're not taking any risk at all. Not the Hurricanes, man. Not the bunch of jerks. The bunch of jerks last night ended up ramping up the intensity. They ended up going empty net and slamming the accelerator. And listen, there's only 2 possible outcomes there. You're either going to get rewarded with a goal for being risky, or you're going to end up giving not just the series, but all the momentum in it away to the New York Islanders. It's a gutsy move, but that is all Rod Brindamore does. He goes, I got Aho, I got Martinook, I got a great front line. I trust my back line. I trust my blue liners, which is a term you got to know when you're talking hockey. I trust my blue liners. I'm going to let my guys go out there and just assault the net. They did. They got rewarded. They were able to take every bit of wind out of the sails of the Islanders. And Jordan Martinook was there to clean that up and put up the game winner. Spectacular showing from the Carolina Hurricanes. They lead the Islanders 2-0 in the Eastern Conference opener. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
This week up 1 spot from a week ago. Duke jumped 1 spot to number 6. East Carolina up 2 spots to number 7, while Wake Forest jumped 4 spots
Excuse me just a second, fellas and ladies. Everybody, excuse me just a second, everybody.
South Carolina dropped 4 spots this week to number 24. Baseball Monday, the Braves beat the Marlins 3-0. Travis d'Arnaud hit a 2-run homer. Look, auto and hold, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. Download the Odyssey app, search the Fan Upstate, and listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Chuck Sanders. That's the Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
Up to the minute upstate traffic. Looking at the Cornell and Cornell Jam Pan, it's kind of like if you can get off 85 and take another route from Isley, consider it. Northbound 85 is locked up tight between Collins up to past 101 due to the crash. Southbound 85 is really bogged down, starting at the 101 down to Pelham. From the news stop 98.9 WORD Traffic Center, I'm Bill Brooks on the Fan Upstate. For complete rules on contests of this station, go to thefanupstate.com/rules. That's thefanupstate.com/rules. Prescriptions require online consultation with healthcare provider for determining appropriate restrictions. Apply. See website for details and safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on contact.
Did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but it's 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocate is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS for $500,000, you have to pay. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
By texting 68,000, you agree to receive recurring automated messages from Apple Message and data rates may apply. Register required. Terms apply. Available.com/TNC.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as quick as 3 weeks. So when someone asks, "How'd your French go?" you can say,
Babbel fascine grandement l'apprentissage d'une langue.
now try Babbel free. Just text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
From the Ingles Market Studio.
Talk to Robin Lonzo. Call 844-FAN.
So obviously we wait to see who the Carolina Panthers are going to select with the 33rd overall selection in the National Football League draft. And one of the beliefs is, Zoe, you and I think are on the same page, wide receiver number one priority.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. I think most of us are on the same page that for Carolina, wide receiver is the priority. If you're going to make a pick, wide receiver has got to be the go-to. Even if you do not believe in BY, you are locked in with this cat now, and at least for another couple of years. And so you might as well do everything that you can to create the best possible opportunity for growth and development of this guy. Because, hey, if he's going to flame out, he's going to flame out. You at least let him flame out and be able to say, we did everything we could. We did everything we could to give this guy the opportunity here to succeed that we could. And if he flames out, he flames out. What are you going to do? So to me, if that is the mentality you're taking into this year, and I from the vibe I'm getting from one Dave Canellis, that is indeed the vibe this team has. If that is the vibe you are bringing into this year, then wide receiver's your pick. So tomorrow on the show, I will reveal my trade free. And by the way, I do not think the first round is going to be anywhere close to trade free. In fact, I think we can end up seeing multiple trades go down in the first round. I think Kansas City moving up is a possibility. I think Buffalo moving up is a possibility. I think the Vikings moving up is a possibility. I think the Broncos moving up is a possibility. I think the Cardinals moving back is a possibility. I think the Chargers moving back is a possibility. I think the Giants, the Titans, the Falcons could all end up being teams that move back. Not necessarily because there's no one in that range that fits on the board that they have in the war room, but more because I think that there's so many teams that want to move up. And at the end of the day, there's only a short list of guys that are probably move up for worthy. So that got me to thinking, if we do have a bunch of trades that start going down in the first round, 90% of the time, there's a reason for that. There's a position, there's a spot somewhere that a run gets established and teams start to panic a little bit and they start to call with maybe elevated prices for teams that are within the range where the run is when it starts. I have already told you, my firm belief at this point is that we are going to see an early run on wide receivers. Even though it's a deep class, I think you're going to see a run on wide receivers. Well, that kind of screws Carolina, which is why I said yesterday, I absolutely believe. I don't absolutely believe. I am heavily leaning towards the right move being trade up. Take those two second rounders, package them together, get back into the first round. Because I started working on my mock draft last night. And again, I will present it to you on tomorrow's show. I started working on my mock draft last night. And I do believe there's a wide receiver run coming. Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming off the board at the very latest. 5. I don't see a world in which Williams, Daniels, May, Penix Jr., and McCarthy go off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just can't imagine somebody is going to be willing to pay that much of a premium for frankly, for J.J. McCarthy. I think Michael Penix Jr. gives a lot of teams pause because he is going to be 26 when the year starts off. You're talking about that guy being an age that you should be when you're 5 years deep in the league.
That's like Chris Winkie type age.
That's exactly right. That's a great comparison. I think a lot of teams are going to be scared off of him. I think he's going to fall. I think that J.J. McCarthy, I've said it a few times, is a league-wide smoke screen. If that's the case, there's still going to be first-round selections, but I think they're going to fall back. So who slots up? Again, you got Joe Alt in this draft. You got Latutu Letu is going to be in this draft. Phenomenal pick. Defensive lineman. I think he's a very possible Atlanta Falcon at the 8th spot. You got Brock Bowers at tight end, Terrion Arnold. You've got a lot of other names in this mix. But I think this is the best wide receiver class we've had in a very long time. And if this is the best wide receiver class that we have had in a very long time, I think teams recognize that and they start to make moves. They start to jump around a little bit. So That is where I came up yesterday with the package the 2 seconds to go get another first mentality. And then I got to working on the back end of the draft. Then I started picking up some more spots. Lonzo, the Buffalo Bills have to draft a wide receiver this year, yeah?
Yeah, Stephon Diggs is gone.
Yep.
And the window for Josh Allen is running out,
Yep. I agree.
at least with this team.
I agree. I don't think the window on Josh Allen is running out. I think the window on Buffalo, led by Josh Allen, is running out, because if they don't go get him that guy, and you're asking him to run with not Stephon Diggs as wide receiver 1, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have zero issue with Josh Allen demanding his way out of Buffalo next year.
By the way, I gave him the Allen back because it's the offseason and there's optimism.
I like it. I think they're going wide receiver. I think that there is a better than good chance that Kansas City goes wide receiver at 32 if they don't move up for one.
Yeah, I would think so, unless they do what I want them to do.
Yep.
And get Brock Bowers somehow.
I think the more I look at it, the more I'm coming up with an extensive list of teams that all draft in the first round ahead of Carolina that not just justifiably should, but kind of justifiably should, not just would, should go wide receiver. I'm at the point now where not only do I have Ladd McConkey coming off the board in the first round, I'm at the point where I got Roman Wilson coming off the board in the first round, the young man out of Michigan. I would even be willing to say there's a very good chance that Lonzo is going to have to put my I don't care where you played your college ball when you get to my team philosophy in play, because Roman Wilson's a chief on my mock draft right now.
I wasn't even paying attention. Where did he play?
Michigan.
Yeah, but where did he play?
Michigan.
Okay. I think I've heard of the place.
I mean, they are the rivals of Nut Inside of a Fruit University.
I don't think you get me. I don't think you get me. I don't care.
The Ohio State.
I don't care where they play. I don't care where they play college football. Just come to the pros and play really well.
I've got Roman Wilson as a chief. I have got Ladd McConkey as a Bill. I have got, who's the other one ahead? The Adonai Mitchell from Texas. I've got him as a Cardinal going late. For the record, I think there's a very good chance Arizona's taking 2 wide receivers in the first round.
Yeah, I was going to say, will they go at 2?
I think they do. I think you almost have to, because at this point, you had the chance.
This is it for their quarterback. If you really want to give him a chance, not like he hasn't had Larry Fitzgerald forever, and then Nuke Hopkins, it makes you think that maybe the receiver is not the problem there. But if you want to believe that he can do something, then you probably should go with 2 receivers.
Yeah, I think if you're Arizona, you got to kind of go all in on throwing everything at Kyler Murray. You had a chance to trade him off season. There were teams that were interested.
Allegedly.
That's
fair.
That's fair. The rumor is that at the least, the Minnesota Vikings were interested in acquiring the services.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Maybe Denver, especially with what they've done recently, maybe them, but I don't know.
So I think if you have locked yourself in with him, you got to go there. The point that I'm making here is, the more I look at it, the more I draw this up, the more I keep finding more places to put wide receivers. And Texter says, member of the Soapberry family. Well done, Texter. Well done.
There the Michigan people are. Where were they earlier?
Oh, one of them texted earlier. I forgot to read it to you, but one of them texted earlier, said, here I am, Zoe. Save those clips for when I call back. JJ is gonna be that guy. Gonna be that guy.
Thank you for sounding off.
You know, Michigan guy, I am always in.
I just want you to know that I didn't ignore you. Rob did.
Correct. I am always in for pimping your text to watch the facial expressions of the great one when I read a text sign with a block M on the end, but not nope.
So you're saying you can't get behind that text?
Yeah,
so
I
just,
can't.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I. At the end of the day, I do have a reputation, Lonzo, as a holder of a master's degree in knowing ball. I do have a reputation to protect.
I don't know. You hadn't reminded us lately, so I
minute.
almost forgot about
Been a minute.
that.
Absolutely been a minute. Texter says trading up to get a player that has a 50% chance to bust is dumb. Dumb AF. I get it.
Who is the player?
I think any wide receiver.
Okay.
Is
all right.
the,
all right.
I think what he's saying here is Carolina trading up at any point, especially when you're low on capital. Carolina trading up in this spot.
By the way, I've did much more thinking about this. I don't think they're trading up because I don't think they're playing for next year. I think they're playing for 2 years from now, and you get the best available for those two spots, and you move on with the fact of knowing that probably you get the number one pick again next year, and this time you keep it.
I don't know. I agree with you that the mentality going into this year can't be what it was last year. I remember when we were going into last season, we had Panthers fans coming on the text line talking about we got a chance in this division.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win the division. I did. I absolutely did. Obviously, still a weak division, and it wouldn't have been really hard to win it, but they weren't good enough to do that.
No.
So I am not going to be optimistic for this coming year. A year after that, maybe.
I do not think it is a winnable division for you this year. In fact, I think the division is going to be better this year.
And by the way, I believe that the quarterback is a bust, and I hope that's not true. All the short talk put aside, the Panthers are my favorite NFC team. I want them to do well, but I just cannot believe in Bryce. And I hope that he makes me look stupid. Not really that hard to do. Go out there and win enough games to compete in the next year or two. Maybe you win me over.
All short jokes aside, I don't
like
believe
you've ever given any short jokes.
Correct. All hate of short jokes aside, I don't think you have a reason to believe that yet. I think you are, and this is fair because this is what the draft is for. I think you're going off gut here. I don't think there's enough evidence on the field. I don't think there's enough empirical data in right now to make a decision about whether he's a bust or a guy who just needs more time.
It really comes down to whether you like it or not. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. If CJ Stroud would have struggled, wouldn't have been so bad, but he did not. So because of that, it makes Bryce Young look more bust like.
Only if you are unwilling to look at the situations those quarterbacks
I
are
mean,
in.
you can try to rationalize how a fan thinks, but it's a waste of time.
I understand. I'm not a fan. I'm an analyst.
By the way, you are a fan of other teams. So you are a fan, not of this.
I'm here. Not when I'm here.
You've even talked about your fandom this week. So I'm not trying to I mean, you can't put your fan entirely away.
No, I can. I'm doing it right now. Right now. Here's my.
Well, you hate the Panthers. They're your rival. Oh. So it's not that hard to be objective.
No, I hate the Falcons. I hate a Falcon.
Okay.
I respect Carolina. I've always respected Carolina. I hate a Falcon.
Why do you respect the Panthers and hate Falcons?
Because they some low down dirty snitches is what they is.
Well, that's true, but it's the same could be said for the Panthers.
No.
I mean, look at the owner just slinking out of town.
throwing drinks on people.
Yeah.
Come on, David. Grow up, David. No, I when I am behind this mic as an analyst, 100% I am as objective as is humanly possibly. And what I am saying as an analyst is I'm not, if I was a fan, Zoe, I'd be sitting here going, you're wrong. The guy's the future. He's the guy. He's him. He's the future. But I'm not doing that.
You've already kind of did
No, I
that.
haven't.
2023 was you and Bryce. I mean, your most defended player of 2023 would be Bryce Young.
Yes, it was. Why? It was because without the evidence to declare him a bust, you and a lot of other folks have declared him a bust, and you don't have a reason to, because you look at a vacuum. You look at just this player, and you don't take into consideration Frank Reich and a crap-ass wide receiver room and a bad backfield and an offensive coordinator that was in over his depth. And you don't look at what Houston built around CJ Stroud and be jealous of it like you should.
You're such an apologist. It's funny.
No, I'm not an apologist. I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Lonzo, which wide receiver core do you want from last year? Houston's or Carolina's?
Neither.
It took you too long to answer.
Neither.
No. Pick one. Who had the better wide receiver? Nico Collins? No, you don't want that guy.
Why are you yelling?
Tank Dell? Because you're wrong.
No, because 2 years ago, you were saying people wouldn't want to go to Houston. They should go to, would want to go to Carolina. And you talked about how bad Houston was. And then suddenly they weren't. And then all of a sudden, okay, all right. I mean, you have the right to change your mind, which you did. And everyone heard you do it. So, I mean, whatever.
Houston went and got themselves a young, energetic head coach who trusted with a good GM a roster build. And they went and got Tank Dell, and they went and got Nico Collins, and they went and got all these phenomenal players and put them around CJ. Who was the guy last year? 33-year-old Adam Thielen, and you think Bryce Young's the problem.
By the way, you proved my point by defending him so strongly. Thank you.
No, everybody, Lonzo's right. Bryce Young sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I still don't know why you're so upset, because you don't like that team.
All right, y'all.
I will say this. You sure do sound like a fan when you're defending that guy.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Everyone hears it.
Like a hater.
Everyone hears it. Everyone hears it.
The haters.
No.
You can't change it.
When you hate on them and
you are
I'm
what
neutral,
you are.
You make me sound like no. I don't sound like a fan. You sound like a hater. Where's my clip?
They like to drink their haterade and eat their hater tots.
Come on, Jim.
If you stay calm, you can push that button. I'm just saying.
Nobody's perfect, but I am very, very close.
Especially when you're defending your guy.
Oh my God. Sports Flash.
The Philadelphia 76ers, why don't you go out of the room? One of the worst collapses in recent playoff history, losing 104-101 in a game where they held a 5-point lead with less than 46 seconds to play over a 14-second span. Jalen Brunson hit a three. Tyrese Maxey turned over the inbounds, and Dante DiVincenzo, I can't say it, whatever, got off a second three. A back-and-forth affair that saw multiple clutch buckets from both teams ended with a 101-99 win for Denver over the LA Lakers. Anthony Davis scored 32. LeBron had 26, including a couple of big buckets inside the last minute. But Jamal Murray hit a big jumper late that sealed the deal as part of his 20 points, while Nikola Jokic had 27. And make sure you join Wire to Wire this Thursday as Cole Bryson and Diesel broadcast live from Dave & Buster's in Greenville. Come out and hang with the guys as they get you ready for the first round of the NFL Draft. 3 to 7 p.m. this Thursday. It's live. It's on location. It's Wire to Wire. By the way, Moles, I'm giving you nothing. Mine too, Steven. No, Trey, I am not going Thursday because I am babysitting. So I can't go. I mean, there are other reasons why I'm not going, but the main reason is I have to babysit. And she's 5 years old. And if we go there and she has to go to the restroom, I don't feel comfortable her going in there by herself. I don't want to bring her into the men's restroom. I think they have one of those in between restrooms, but I can't remember. And I will be spending more time occupying my granddaughter than I would be spending time with anybody else. So I will not be going for that reason. And to be straight, I wasn't going anyway. So
I'm not angry. I want to be angry. I don't get angry.
You ever go back and watch videos of yourself? You should do that sometime.
I am cool, calm, and collected.
Mm-hmm.
Stu Scott once said, cool is the other side of the pillow.
Saying you're cool and being cool, I mean, might be different things. And also, I don't think they have Mario Kart there, do they, Trey? If they do, then allow Rob to step in as my second. Yes, Shane, I am that old. I have a granddaughter who's about to turn 6. I am 55 on my way to 56. Ancient. That's me, ancient. Rob's hair won't look this good at 55, though.
Please.
Just won't.
And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. The final hour of the Rob Brown Radio program starts right now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What a tremendous time for a hiccup. I'm a professional.
You all right? Did you go hit the
I
whiskey during break? Is that what you did?
felt that one in my soul. Welcome back, y'all. Good to be with you. I'm Rob Brown. That other voice you hear? The great one, Lonzo. 844-326-3663.
An island. Oh man, it was going to be good. I was going to say an island of calm.
Wait.
In the stormy sea.
Stop the presses. Stop the presses. All right, that's dramatic, but I appreciate it. Rob, in case you haven't seen it, I wanted to give you a heads up that Costco has autographed Zion Williams-Pelly's City Edition jerseys for sale.
Well, yeah, but you can't talk about this. You can't read this on the air because you take your fan hat off and you are an analyst. And as an analyst, this means nothing to you. That's what you just said 5 minutes ago.
How?
You said that, not me. I didn't ask you to say that.
They're only $600. So
how does that make you feel as an analyst?
Little overpriced. A little overpriced. At the same time, I think you're going to invest in the guy. You're going to do it now. He did just play a full regular season.
All right, I'm not going to tell anybody. If you want to do this, put your fan hat back on. Shh, just don't tell anybody. As a fan, you want this, don't you?
Lonzo, when you are going to invest in something,
I don't have enough money to invest in anything. We'll definitely be hypothetical on this.
okay, hypothetically, if you're going to invest your money and your goal is to make as much money with that investment as possible.
So more than what you're putting in, you're hoping to
Correct.
get back out. Okay,
I
all
want to
right.
invest $1 and I would like to turn that dollar into $1.25.
Or $10,000.
Sure. But let's be realistic here to some degree. When you are deciding which stocks or bonds or crypto, don't do that you are going to invest your money in. When you are picking the stock and the bond, do you look and you go, oh, that's my favorite comic book company. I'm investing with them. Or do you dive in and do analysis and you look at where their sales have been up or down, left or right? Have they been making money, losing money? Have there been changes in leadership? Have there been changes in administrative policy, et cetera, et cetera? Because if your answer is the first, you just go, ooh, I like them. Here's my money. You're not going to have a lot of money. But if you actually dive in and do the research and look and see what their stock prices have done up and down and what all these numbers are, then I think at that point, you would have the best opportunity to succeed. My job here is to be both profound, as I am on a regular basis, and accurate.
You didn't say that. Tell me you did not just say that.
Because unlike other radio show hosts around the country, while I do get paid to garner attention,
America,
I don't get paid to be accurate. I get paid to garner attention. So does every person that you love that has a microphone. I really get paid to entertain, but, entertain enough that I get attention. And I am quite good at it. Thank you very much.
Two-time.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good. I mean, if you're going to do it to say we're two-time South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the Year award winners, that's a phenomenal interjection. I have reached the point in my career where I have decided that the way to get attention and entertain is to talk about ball and knowing it.
I'm glad you're doing that because I would never do anything to try to get attention, ever.
Correct. I have decided
Just here to push buttons.
that unlike some other talk show host and television host and radio host, I think, to me, it's a bit disingenuous to come in here with super duper hot takes, things that are ridiculous to say, things that are obnoxious to say, to go, hey, everybody, I'm begging you, please look at me. Because I think that there are enough sports fans out there that just want sports. They want to know what is going on, why it's going on, what impacts and consequences those things will have, et cetera, et cetera.
what did you do, Ray?
If I'm going...
It does apply because Ray is sitting right over there right now. This is Ray talking.
It's really not.
Ray has possessed Rob.
That's not to say that we can't have our daily fun and shenanigans.
Because I was told when you got here, I heard you say, this is a show about if you're sitting at a sports bar with your buddy and you're talking about sports.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
In which,
all my buddies are fans. So,
after I knock down a couple of Jägermeisters, there are many of us. Can I talk about the first round draft selection of the Chicago Bears. I'm not a Bears fan yet. I got a lot of good information and stats and numbers and thoughts and predictions and previews and prognostications and projections that I can get into as not a fan.
The 5 Ps. I wasn't really counting them. I'm just going to go with 5.
If I can do that for Chicago as a neutral observer, I can do it for any team. Because again, I'm not going to scream into the microphone, Caleb Williams is going to be better than Patrick Mahomes, which I literally listened to a man do yesterday. That's a silly take.
Is there a chance, even though you think it's a silly take, that guy really believed that?
No, I don't believe for a second. That
Was he possibly was this guy like in Chicago and could possibly be a fan showing his fandom?
No, because he's not from Chicago. He's not a Bears fan. He just has a job in Chicago.
So
most radio hosts, they're not from where they broadcast.
You are starting to go into arbiter mode here. You don't have to be from somewhere to be a fan of a team.
I don't disagree with that. But I know the guy's team that he's a fan of, and it ain't the Bears.
Okay.
I am not a fan of the Carolina Panthers. I am a fan of them winning because it gets me paid, but I'm not a fan.
So are you going to buy that jersey or not?
No, I ain't got $600. I work in radio.
If you had 600 though, would you buy it?
Probably not, to be honest with you. I like Zion. I think he can be that dude. I'm not in for $600 a signed jersey. I can get a lot of Pelly's gear.
I mean, it's you found out on the street.
I found that on the street. There's a Zion Williamson Duke jersey in the studio. I quite literally found here the stream. I'll show it to you. That jersey right over there. I quite literally found that number 1 Duke Zion Williams jersey on the street next to the radio station. That's not a joke. And this is more philosophy about the show than it is anything.
So if it's yours, finders keepers. Sorry.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
Yeah, it does.
This is more about the philosophy of the show for maybe those of you that are new to the show here in the mornings. I am a fan of our local teams in that I need them to be good. I need Carolina to be good. I did for 3 seasons, a Sunday morning Carolina kickoff show where I drove to a bar and I talked about the Panthers on Sundays for an hour before kickoff.
And now you bequeathed it to Diesel.
I sure did.
You got bequeathed.
Part of the struggle in that is that early in the season for those 3 seasons, early in the year, the bars would be packed. And by week 17, it was very difficult to get people to come spend time. And that looks bad on me. It does. I want the team to be good. But as far as I'm concerned for me and for this show, the people listening are sports fans. Yeah, they're fans of a team, but they're sports fans. And what everybody does impacts everybody else. I was on the air with Nick Costos out of New York a couple of weeks ago. And he said on the air, if you're a sports fan, like a sports fan, you recognize that in the sport you're talking about, every play that happens in every game has an impact on your team. It may be a far-reaching butterfly effect style impact. It may have a direct, immediate impact on that night's score. It may have an impact that you can't diagnose or feel until years, decades down the road. But every game has a lot of plays, and every play impacts your team one way or the other, which is why you might be a Chiefs fan or a Saints fan or a Panthers fan. On Sundays, when your team's not playing, the majority of you are watching everybody else's team play. It ain't because you just really love watching the 49ers. It's because you know everything the 49ers are doing has an impact on your team. Your smart-ass crickets are appreciated but ignored. Because that's what sports fans do.
Okay, you've decided to make this segment not fun. So, I mean, so I'm going to sit back and be quiet.
I don't need you to be dramatic. There's no Emmys being handed out here.
There should be.
There should be. We both have those too. But
why aren't there? I guess because we're not in a big market.
Do they
Yet.
get, no, we would get what's the radio one? We get
Marconi's.
yeah, but we're eligible for what's the real big one?
I thought Marconi's are the real big
That is
one.
exclusively for radio. But what's the
You
one that
gonna
do they
talk about
like
sports
best album?
Emmys?
No, like best album and
What,
best song and all that.
Grammys?
Yeah, they have radio Grammys.
They
We
do?
should, yeah, we got to get one. I think once we get to like the 10 Pete
You gotta
in
be-
South Carolina,
I
we
think-
got to start going.
No,
for
I think you
Grammys.
have to be syndicated for that.
Oh, well, objective acquired. When this mic's on, when we are talking about our teams, I am objective, and I'm objective because I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up the rectums of Carolina Panther fans. You guys are so great. I don't know why you're worried. You're amazing. You're so special. No, your team sucks. Your team sucks right now. But I'm telling you how it can get better.
Would that include the quarterback?
No. It bothers me that some people do not understand that not saying a thing is bad is not the same thing as saying it is good. Those are different things.
So you mean me? When you
Yes.
say some people.
Yes.
Okay.
But you've already submitted your application for your Grammy. Saying the world is not a binary place where either it is black or white, good or bad, up or down. There are gradients to everything. And sometimes you don't know where on the spectrum of that thing something is. And it is okay to say, I don't know. I do not know if Bryce Young is the guy, but you don't either. I don't know if he's a bust, but you don't either. I don't know if he's a future Hall of Famer, but you don't either. We can speculate, we can guess all day, but to write the guy off as a bust, to me, is not a good way to do it. It's just not. It's
All right. Let me declare an official apology to all Panthers fans for acting like a Panther fan. I apologize. I will try not to be a fan in the future. I'm not going to be able to succeed, but I'm going to try not to.
you think being a Panther fan is saying our quarterback sucks
Right
That's
now,
being a fan?
right now, absolutely.
I don't.
Yes, it does.
I don't.
Absolutely.
I don't. If anything, you, the emperor of
I'm being the
idealism, are
lowest
supposed
common denominator, I
to
suppose.
deal exclusively in optimism and hope. Are you not?
Well, according to you, I'm a contrarian, so then I would not do that because you think I should do that. Because that's what being a contrarian is. So,
Ladies and gentlemen,
when you labeled me something, I'm automatically, as a contrarian, going to be the opposite of that. So, no longer about ideas.
really?
Only about
Noted Bryce Young hater Lonzo.
only about killing ideas. That's not going to work though. And I don't hate the kid. I want him to do well, but he's just not, and I'm not sure he's capable.
I don't understand. It comes down to this.
I'm not going to give you a sunny opinion of someone whose playing ability right now
Am I doing
I
that?
do not trust.
Am
no,
I doing that?
No, but I'm just going to be me until they tell me I can't be me, and then I'm probably going home.
I am not giving a sunny disposition. I'm not sitting here blowing smoke and going, kid's a future Hall of Famer. Lombardi incoming. I'm not doing that because I
You're
don't
right.
know.
You're saving that for that guy in New Orleans.
Future Hall of Famer Derek Carr? Sure am. What I am saying here is because you don't know, and because the kid has shown potential, but been trapped in a program the last 2 years that has been rudderless and directionless, what I'm saying is the philosophy of this draft must be do every single thing that you can do to make his life easier.
That being said, get 2 wide receivers. Do not trade into the first round.
I don't know what 2 wide receivers are available there.
You've said many times, and probably will continue to say so the rest of this week. Really big draft class for wide receivers.
Really deep class.
Yes.
There's
and they're not
nobody.
gonna fix it for next year. So at least get some people you can build on.
We totally agree on that. I will take one guy that showed me that he can ball out at the highest level before I take 2 ifs and a variable. And that's just me. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. We got plenty more to get to in the final 2 segments of the show. Yes, Keegan, we do need you to come and give us a hug. The Rob Brown Drama Show.
Only hand hugs over here, dude.
Such a weird way to put it. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's the Fan Upstate.
We're all getting fired today anyway, so it's not going to matter. You're probably right, Wesley. Although, new management, I'm not so sure they'll make those kind of mistakes. Hopefully the Panthers would go back to when they used to draft well, like when they drafted Luke Kuechly or CMC or some other guys like that. Cam Newton for a good bit of time. We don't do that here, Trey. Everything is for show. Nothing is real. It's all work. Moles can tell him that I said that. It's all work. He probably is. We'll see if he comes back and hiccups again. You can tell him I said that. Yeah, I'm getting traded again. Been a good run. Okay, where's my... Oh, no. There it is. It's reverse psychology. I don't want to be traded, so I'm saying I'm going to be traded. So they'll go, well, I'm not going to give him what he wants, and then they don't trade me. That's what radio is. My last 2 sentences. You know, not only do I make everybody mad, sometimes I make people mad and I don't even say anything. It's amazing, especially members of my family. I can make them mad just by walking in the room. It's just, yeah. You got me there. Yeah, you shouldn't do that, James. That no longer exists. That station has been sold. Unless you like Spanish music. I mean,
I do. Live music's got a groove.
From the little bit I've heard, it's upbeat. No, Trey, I do not. That is when I officially retire, for sure. That's when I go, I'll just eat like blocks of cheese for the rest of my life and ramen. It is a special talent, and I don't even try. All right, sometimes I try. Not today, though. I have not tried once today. Apologize for being active with the stream. I'll try not to do that in the next break.
I need your help, Lonzo. I need to get us back on the same page or ruin it. I don't know which one.
It must be desperation.
Tomorrow night in Simpsonville, there is a nationally touring Beatles band coming to town.
Where at?
Simpsonville at the Memorial Amphitheater. Not Simpsonville, Spartanburg.
Oh, okay.
Spartanburg Memorial.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I've got a couple of tickets, and I'm in this weird spot because the fiance does not like the Beatles. And then, because she doesn't like the Beatles.
Is she giving a reason why she doesn't like them?
She's just not a fan. She's not a fan. She didn't like their bubblegum stuff. She didn't like the experimental stuff. She didn't like the revolutionary stuff. She didn't like any of it. And so,
well, they did reach their peak before she was born. So, I mean, you know, sometimes you're just not into older music. Yeah.
So she's not a fan. So then,
what if they did entirely covers of Taylor Swift songs?
I don't think she would go. She's not super, and neither am I. I gave it a run. Not super in love with the tortured poets department. Like it's pretty okay.
Did Taylor become mid because she's happy? Oh no.
No, it's quite the opposite. This is not a happy album.
Oh,
this
it's not okay.
It's
right.
the tortured poets department.
Yeah, but
it ain't butterflies. There's one.
Could have been ironic. I don't know.
Nope, it's not. It is sad girl music. And again, you know, I'm in for some sad girl music. Alanis Morissette was.
No, that's angry girls music. That's not sad.
Whatever. I'm in for some moody girl music. All right. The new album's just kind of okay.
All right. So
it's not bad.
Beatles cover band playing.
Beatles cover band playing in Spartanburg. Got 2 tickets. Good tickets. Orchestra, almost front row. She don't want to go. So asked a buddy of mine, who is a musician, plays guitar, has toured, played at the Warped Tour, big music guy. I said, yo, bro, you a Beatles guy? You want to go see the Beatles? Not the Beatles. They're mostly dead, but like they're half dead. Half the Beatles are dead. Half are still alive.
And the other ones are artificially alive,
yeah.
I believe, because they could be aliens, but you know.
So I said, do you want to go? And he said, man, you're about to hate me. And I said, why? And he said, the Beatles, quote, are only the Beatles via circumstance. Their music was not life-changing nor original, end quote.
See, a lot of this sounds like contrarianism. It really does. I may not like a band, but I can appreciate what they did historically, and I'm probably not going to dog them. Like the Rolling Stones, I can't stand the Rolling Stones. I think their guitars are out of tune. I think they're horrible. They had like 1 or 2 good songs. Horrible, yeah. But
well, my olive branch has thus been lit on fire.
But I've said it before. But you know, like most things I say, you know, people forget. But that's fine.
When you say silly things, I forget them. Like the Rolling Stones are horrible.
According to some, all I can say are silly things.
I bleached that from
my
memory.
They're not good. So I can understand why some people don't like certain bands, and it makes people angry. If you don't like the Beatles, you don't like the Beatles. But without the Beatles, you probably wouldn't have a lot of the music you have today, just like without Little Richard or without Elvis or without, you know, I've had these conversations with my kids a bunch. Yeah, I get you don't like this, but without this, you wouldn't have what you have now. So I think you can have an appreciation of what a band or an act did and still not like them. I appreciate the longevity of the Rolling Stones. I still don't like them.
You said they're horrible.
Yeah, to me. That's my opinion.
I don't like your opinion.
Okay.
I don't like that
Today
opinion.
you don't like my opinion. I mean, period. Anything I've said the entire day.
That's not true.
Okay. Yeah,
That's not true. You did earlier say I'm good at radio. I'm holding on to that.
I did do that. You're right.
So like you've had at least one good opinion.
Okay, there we go.
You know.
All right. So are you like soliciting someone to go with you, or are you trying to decide should you go by yourself?
No, I was throwing it out. And if you want to go see a Beatles cover band,
soliciting is not the right word.
I was
sorry.
I was throwing it out to a buddy of mine, and it was more along the lines of, as a music guy, like I was a little shocked by the take.
Did you immediately no longer? I mean, did he drop in your estimation as far as you thought this guy musically was there, and then now all of a sudden, well, he wasn't as good as I thought he was?
No, I think, like I said, I think to me it's just it's just a shock, and it's because I'm a big Beatles guy. I do think they were revolutionary, less the pop bubblegum Beatles, less the black suit Beatles, and more the later Beatles.
Yeah, but without the other part, the British invasion doesn't happen.
Correct.
I mean, there's just a lot of things.
And again, let's be clear. The British
Are we
invasion,
substituting music for wrestling or wrestling for music?
I was trying to.
Okay.
I was trying to.
And then I have my take on the Rolling Stones.
And then you said what you said about the Rolling Stones, and you blew it out of the water.
Been consistent about for decades.
Again, when people say things that get my burn my brownies.
Don't do. Now you're really coming at me. Okay, fine. So I really did upset you. I'm sorry.
I bleached those things from my memory. I guess I was taken aback because I grew up a Beatles fan. The Madre had me hooked on the Beatles. I do think they were evolutionary. I do think they were just a different breed of cat. And now here's a music guy that, like, I've had all these other conversations about phenomenal musicians that we both love.
See, this reminds me.
And he hits me with this.
I was going around.
It's almost like he said the Rolling Stones were horrible.
Yeah, my cousin, who's an excellent bass player, we were out doing something one day, went into a music store, and there's this guy, big time rock and roll guitarist, and we were talking about something, and he said, oh, well, he plays keyboards. He's like, keyboards ain't rock and roll. There's never been a hit rock and roll band that had keyboards in it. And it's just like, okay, dude, I get your hard. I get that hard rock is everything for you. I just didn't say anything, but I laughed about it because there's been plenty of rock songs with keyboards in them. I think music, like sports, you have a take on something and you are not going to be dissuaded from it, no matter what anyone says. And you can be overly offended by someone's take on either sports or music to the point where it's you reevaluate in your mind what you thought of that person. I thought I knew you. And then you find out, well, I guess I didn't know all of you.
Listen, as he just responded, because I believe he is listening now that I'm talking about him. Thanks for tuning in. Music is
that what it took to get him to listen to?
I know, right?
Why aren't you? Yeah, come on, dude.
Bud. What a pal.
That's not cool.
What a friend.
It's really not.
Music is subjective, and for those of you that are on the text line hitting me with the stick to sports, stop with the music stuff, welcome to the show. Okay, this is just what we do. Music is subjective.
He lives.
Raise back. Music is subjective, and I get that. It is absolutely a subjective medium, and sometimes people are very wrong. Like right now, there's two people in my life doing it right now. There's two people
now
being
now we know who that is. And then also, thanks, Win.
Great conversation, guys. Wow, fantastic dialogue. Thanks. We worked on this. We actually scripted this out. This is a scripted segment.
If we did, we would probably sound like this. Please listen to our show.
It just blew me away a little bit. It just shocked me a little. It's not what I was expecting, right? He responded. He's like, most of the times when people say, "Are you a Beatles guy?" they expect a yes in response. And that is correct. Yes, I expect a yes in response. Are you an Elvis guy? Yes, we're all Elvis guys.
No, we're not all Elvis guys.
Cash guy?
By
yes,
the way,
big Cash guy.
I'm an Elvis guy, not a Johnny Cash guy, because country is torture.
See, you see.
I have opinions. I try to stick to them as much as I can.
Texter said, "This is Ray from Beyond the Grave. Stick to sports." All right, listen. I know we're a sports show. I know we got to stick to sports, but man,
I just want to point out that
that blew my mind.
I brought the comparison and made it a comparison to sports. I made it a sports topic because I'm an award-winning producer. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so all you stick to sports people, we absolutely did that. I think it bothered you because now you're reevaluating how you think about both music and sports and how they both are so similar.
And how if you don't like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, you're wrong.
Apparently.
Multiple things.
Yes.
Multiple things happening here. We're
Yes.
we're expanding horizons all over the upstate is what we're doing right now. Right? The Beatles are great. The Rolling Stones are great.
By the way, this bumper music is not Elvis nor the Beatles, or is it the Rolling Stones?
It's none of those things.
Right.
And
Because if
now-
it was, we get flagged in Russia.
Stupid Russians. Hate you. I am a real American. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, sports. Okay? I'm gonna make Ray's ghost happy. We'll talk about sports when we come back on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Sir, I am very open-minded.
Uh-oh, he served you.
I am very open-minded, Andrew. What I'm open-minded to.
If that's really your name.
No, I know for a fact that's him.
Okay. All right.
I'm very open-minded. I feel like you're just what's the word I'm looking for here? Wrong. That's the word I'm looking for.
Exactly what an open-minded person would
Yeah.
say.
I'm open-minded. You're wrong. Open-minded would be if you gave me a substitute that you would put in that position. I don't know who it would be.
Position for what?
For me to consider.
Oh, you're talking about for the music thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Trying to hook my guy up for a bro date to go see the Beatles.
No,
and instead
no,
he's
here's
like,
the
I'm gonna
thing.
throw our whole friendship away over Ringo Starr.
No. Here's the thing. He was second choice. He knows he was second choice. So you didn't come
Behind
to
my
him.
fiance?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
didn't come
should
to him
be.
and ask him first. You didn't go
Yes,
to
I
the.
want you all to know you're all second choice behind my fiance.
You didn't
That
go
is
to.
correct.
You didn't go to the music guy first. No. It's like, hey, my fiance can't go. Would you like to go with me?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Now, if it was like to go see a
No,
like a
because
Braves game,
the
then
Monkees were based on the Beatles. So if the if the Beatles didn't exist, the Monkees wouldn't exist.
Hey, with the Monkees. The Monkees were great, by the way. The Monkees were great.
Neil Diamond wrote all their music, but but they had to sing it. So, and Neil Diamond, killed it for a time. Love on the Rocks, still one of my favorite songs of all time. And You Don't Bring Me Flowers with Barbra Streisand, I believe.
There's my
they're coming
artist
to
I'll never get
America.
behind. Barbra Streisand stinks. Barbra Streisand's the worst. She does a version of Jingle Bells that the fiance loves to play over Christmas, and I want to break speakers when I hear it. It's atrocious.
By the way, Wesley, Rob knows if he invites me, I'm going to say no. He also knows if he doesn't invite me, it's gonna hurt my feelings because I want to be invited just so I can say no. Plus, it's going to be past my bedtime, so I can, and I love the Beatles, by the way. And then we would be seen in public together again. I'm guessing, Trey, that's a totally different song than what I'm talking about. I don't believe I've heard that one.
Your jaded take there, Andrew, your cynical take. That's usually my job, to be the cynical, jaded one.
Yeah, because you're the most cynical person in this room.
Giving someone an opportunity and them succeeding and thriving in the opportunity are two different things, man. If you're not watching the NBA playoffs, and more importantly, if you missed last night's Nuggets-Lakers game.
Wait, are we talking sports now?
We sure are, for at least the next
We've talked sports the
13
entire hour.
hour.
Suck it, Ray.
Rip, Ray. If you missed the game last night, there was one spot in the game between the Lakers and the Nuggets that was just the absolute illustration of why I'm such a Nikola Jokic guy. Why I think Nikola Jokic is the MVP. Why I think Nikola Jokic is right now, maybe not the most athletic, but the best basketball player in the game at this point. There was a spot during the Nuggets comeback in the early fourth quarter, where Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray bring the ball down the floor. They bring the ball down the floor. They get down into the paint, and Jamal Murray hits Nikola Jokic with a pass. He's down on the block, and Nikola Jokic has got Anthony Davis on his back. Anthony Davis is probably one of the best 5 post defenders in the NBA right now. Anthony Davis does not get credit for being the guy that he is. Nikola Jokic hits him with the triple deke. He goes right. He feints left. After he feints left, he hits him with the double move. And 90% of the time, that's where a player in the post is going to take their shot. The first move is to get you off center and moving. The second move is either to jump into you and get the foul in the shot or to jump away from you and hit the fadeaway. That's the move. But Jokic very much and obviously knew the game of Anthony Davis. And he knew that if you hit AD with the feint, with the spin, and then get him, he's going to go up. It wasn't just that he got AD up in the air to draw the foul, but it's how he did it. It's how he did it. Jokic did the moves in reverse. Ordinarily, with back to basket, it's going to be fake spin to the outside, spin back under to the basket, and either go up and under or off to the side to try to get an uncontested shot up or a minimally contested shot up. And that's not what Nikola Jokic did. What Jokic did was go back to basket, spin away from the basket. Ordinarily, that's your jump shot move. Spin away from the basket, go up and back. That's your jump shot move. Hit him with the jump shot move, waited till AD went airborne, then he went up, underneath, and into Anthony Davis. So a couple of things happened. Number one, he drew the foul. Number two, it was one step closer, if the game would have gone into OT, that the best glass defender for the LA Lakers would have had to either go to the sideline or play dramatically less aggressively because he was in foul trouble. And number three, the third thing, and maybe the most important thing that it did, was when he got AD up in the air, he got him up in the air on his back outside hip, which means that AD was no longer between Nikola Jokic and the glass. I don't want to just talk about that game from last night. I would also like to get into the game between the Sixers and the Knicks. The New York Knicks, late in that game, were sitting on a deficit. At that point, I turned that game off because it was over, right? It's over. The 76ers did what they needed to do. They went into Madison Square Garden. They played in front of the celebs that love to come out and pretend they're sports fans. And they won the game until they didn't. Late in that game, the New York Knicks found out exactly what Philly was doing. They specifically locked down their inbound game, locked down their inbound play. And so it created a spot where when Philly got the ball out after Jalen Brunson hit a three, if you go rewatch that clip of the inbounds turnover from the Sixers, while, yes, there is a problem in that Nick Nurse was very clearly on the sideline trying to signal a timeout, at least a couple of Sixers, I hate teams from Philly too, at least a couple of Sixers were on the floor signaling for a timeout. There were no less, that I have seen on video, these things are empirically true, no less than 4 different 76ers players and coaches tapping the tee, putting the hands together, trying to get the timeout, which would have, of course, allowed Philadelphia to inbound at half court, meaning that not only could they have run a set, they would have had more room to run the set. Had they had more room to run the set, it opens up the playbook a little bit. And had they turned it over out of that set, New York still would have had to driven at least half of the floor to try to get up a game winner. And you could have had a guy drop back to kind of play a last line of defense style setup. But they didn't get the timeout. And I will, as I said earlier in the show, I will absolutely put that on the NBA officiating. The NBA needs to do what MLB officials failed to do with the Aaron Boone ejection from yesterday and, apologize for doing a bad job. Apologize for screwing the pooch. Apologize for taking the game away from the team and making it about them. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. I am saying it's never going to happen when we inevitably and eventually go to robo-umps. Then that stuff will never happen. But until that moment, until that time, I just want some damn accountability. But take that off the table. Instead, let's look at the result. Instead, let's look at how it went down. How it went down was the Knicks at that point knew exactly how it was that Philly wanted to inbound the basketball. They knew exactly what the game plan was. They knew exactly where the cut was going to be. They knew exactly where the backdoor pass was coming. They knew exactly where that play was going to get laid out. And they set them up. They set a trap. They waited. They held off. They played up because, they know you're going to press. They know you're going to press. They know it's full court. They know that in that spot, your only prayer is a turnover. So watch the way that this was handled by New York. And this is all credit in the world to Tom Thibodeau because he had these boys absolutely lit and ready to go. If you watch the inbounds that led to the steal, that led to the DiVincenzo 3, that ultimately proved to be the game winner. What you will see is that the Knicks lined up as if they were just playing a man-to-man defense, just playing a full court man-to-man. We're going to make it real hard for you to inbounds the ball. We're going to make it real hard for your ball handler to get it across half court. We're going to make it real hard for you to find any sort of passing lane. It's just going to be a full court press after that score to bring us within a couple. But once the ball was in the hands of Tyrese Maxey on the baseline, once he was running the floor looking for his pass, watch that defense for Philly. Watch those guys shift. Watch those guys change positioning. They come off man and they jump into passing routes. And once they jump into passing routes, that's where Tyrese Maxey got in trouble. It was at that point that the record scratched and Philly realized they screwed up. Because Philly came out, they ran their set, they ran their inbounds play. It's an inbounds play they ran back in game one. New York knew exactly where that ball was going. And instead of playing the man, they played the destination. One of my favorite things in basketball that I've ever been told. I had a coach once who said, "You're not robots. Don't play like it. You're not robots. If I draw up a play that says ball starts here, you're going to move it over here, we're going to set the pick here, wrap around over there, go to this spot, whatever. And when that play starts, if you recognize that when you go to set the pick, that the defense changes, if they switch, and now you're in a matchup that favors you, now you're a power forward with a point guard on you. Now you're a point guard with a power forward on you. Now what I want you to do is I want you to call for the ball and I want you to win that matchup. I don't want you to play like a robot. I want you to play creative, organic basketball. And right now, I don't know if anybody's doing that better than the New York Knicks. Listen, as a Southern sports talk radio show, I want you to know it pains me to no end that the chief topics of conversation are the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks. I hate it. These are the kind of seasons that end up with me having to hear idiots on ESPN spend the next 6 months going, this is why Zion should go be a Knick. This is why Zion should be a Laker. I'm tired of it.
I don't think there's anyone on ESPN that sounds like that.
Well, I can't do the voice of the guy who does it because I don't want to get in trouble for it. But I think you know who I'm talking about. It ain't exactly a secret.
If I was Marty Smith, I'd be mad at you right now.
Yes, it is. It is Marty and McGee. That's who I'm talking about. Big Knicks guys, Marty and McGee. I actually really like those dudes. They're the best. Anyway, the point here is that's the kind of team you want to throw a bet behind. That's the kind of team you want to watch play ball. And right now, that's the kind of team the New York Knicks are. Coming up tonight in the Associacion, 7:30 first tip, the Suns and the Timberwolves at 8:30 p.m., the Pacers and the Bulls, the Mavs and the Clippers tonight at 10 o'clock. Wednesday's schedule, Pellies and Thunder at 9:30, 7 p.m., the Heat and the Celtics. That's coming up the rest of your game twos.
And now for something completely different, Ray. Let's talk about what's Xing today, or Rob will tell us why. The first thing that's Xing is Foghorn Leghorn.
Okay, so Foghorn Leghorn was trending earlier, and I'm not going to lie, I clicked on it because he's one of my favorite cartoon characters, and Foghorn Leghorn, well, this was this morning. Foghorn Leghorn was trending because he was trending. It was just, he was trending, and then he kept trending because people kept asking, why is Foghorn
the best
Leghorn
thing is
trending?
we got the Denzel.
The Denzel?
You know, the Denzel, where Denzel goes like this, and someone said, oh, I thought Foghorn Leghorn was dead. You know that, anyway.
Respect
Yes.
the rooster, people.
Yes. Apparently, from what I could tell, he is trending because there's a new series. Someone is doing something with him, making him diss and beat up other cartoon characters, including one that I saw where he took care of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. So I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm sure it's probably amazing. And it's good to know that.
I got nothing.
It's good to know that our governor has something to do in his spare time.
Texter just said Henry McMaster or actual Foghorn Leghorn.
Exactly. All right. The next thing it's Xing is LeBrick, or also LeBum.
All right. So
and Blue 20. I mean, there's just a lot of things Xing right now.
we talked earlier about LeBron, and if you are online talking about LeBrick because he had a shot to put that thing away with a wide open three from the top of the key that he missed,
You probably don't like the Beatles.
you probably don't like the Beatles. You either didn't watch that game or you did watch that game and you just are a LeBron hater because LeBron doesn't have the chance to hit that go-ahead game-winning three if it wasn't for LeBron the past 12 minutes before that, where he is getting Ray Lewis into the ground, the tackle, not the stabby part, allegedly, where he's getting tackled.
A lot of things go on underneath those piles.
Yeah. When he's getting tackled into the baseline and is throwing up prayers that he's getting to drop to keep that team involved. If you are hitting my dude with LeBrick jokes this morning, you are either a non-ball knower or a LeBron hater, and there's no other alternative.
All right. The next thing is Xing is John Cena.
John Cena. I have no idea why John Cena is trending. Is because I dressed like him yesterday on accident?
Yeah, that's all it takes. The fashion people are like, oh my God, look at what Rob's wearing. Let's do this. It's actually his birthday.
Really? 54.
Wow, he ain't that old. He's only 47.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he had a couple more years on me.
No, he started. He was fairly young when his career started. So yeah, he's only 47. And finally, Steven Seagal is Xing.
I asked Steven Seagal, the star of some of the most campy, awful, yet I'll watch him every time action movies of all time.
The one on the boat was really good.
That dude has turned into such a sad, dorky parody of himself.
But just wait. From what I can tell, he's Xing because he has an album on Spotify.
Backseat Taylor, Daddy's Home.
It shows him holding the guitar. It looks natural. I'm just saying, but what do I know?
Well, the show's over. We're going to go sit in the other room and listen to Steven Seagal music now.
We probably really will. I mean, that's not a joke.
I'm gonna karate chop you in the face.
I hope it's a rap album. I mean, just because it should be.
It's my judo kick of love.
Man, I nailed that. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. For Lonzo, I'm Rob. It's the Rob Brown Show. It is the Fan Upstate. Later. Yeah! Out for justice. Yes. Flashback. Those movies were so terrible, and yet I'll watch them every time.
Yeah, but out of all the action heroes, he's the only one who probably could have, except for Chuck Norris, he's probably the only one that he could be, well, he'll find out. So Seagal could probably beat all those other guys because he was legitimately that guy before he got into the stuff. And
Bruce Lee is number one.
Yeah, but I was thinking more 80s stars. I mean, Bruce Lee, much like the Beatles, that should go unsaid. Really good.
Seagal. What an icon.
You think, think he plays better than Hulk Hogan? The guitar?
We're out. Thank you guys for being here. You're all amazing. We appreciate you as always. Come back tomorrow. Tell your friends about us. We're trying to grow the show. Thanks.
Andrew, thank you for listening.
You still suck, Andrew. Goodbye. Andrew's the best. All right, let's go cut promos and get up out of Shaw. And then, actually, I gotta go. I'm not coming today, but also, as an FYI to you as well, I will probably be either maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday next week. I will probably go on a couple of days of bereavement. My aunt is pulling off of an intubator today. I don't know what the dates are or if I'm going. It's in New Orleans, but just as a heads up.
Okay.
Fresh coconuts, palm trees, and wind. It's like catching